You listen to my feelings.
That's good laminate on that, Jeff.
Yeah.
Call to order. Time is now 6:01 p.m. Wednesday, August 6th, 2025. This will be the workshop committee meeting for the town of Pembroke Park.
All right, now it's on. You hear me okay? All right. Let's start over. 6:01 still p.m. Wednesday, August 6th, 2025. This is the workshop commission meeting for the town of Pembroke Park. Call to order. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States
of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Commissioner Mohammed. Acting Clerk Commissioner Morissette.
Here.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins.
Here.
Vice Mayor Kashem absent. Mayor Jacobs.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Deletions or withdrawals to the agenda.
Nope.
Just to reflect on the record that Vice Mayor Kashem just entered.
Any deletions, withdrawals?
Nope. None.
All right, presentations, 5.1, proclamation honoring the life and legacy of R. Pete Biddle?
Biddle.
Did you want to read that? No? Okay. All right, 5.2, presentation of the town's annual comprehensive financial report for the year end September 30th, 2024 by the town's independent auditors, Jay Monroe, Representative Zach. I will believe it was Zach, CPA. How's that?
I say you have to give it a shot.
Nah, I'll pass on that one.
So my hint would have been it is not cauliflower.
It was close. I almost did it.
But so yeah, Zach Shalafor. Basically, it's like an S instead of a C.
All right.
So Zach Shalafor, partner James Moore and Company. We are here to review the annual audit results for the fiscal year ended September 30th, 2024. First and foremost, would like to thank the commission for the opportunity to work with you all. This, of course, was our first year working in the capacity as your external auditors. Big thanks to your team as well. A lot of hard work that went into this. I know from talking with David and James, just the effort and lift that they've had internally. It was a late start in the game from kind of a normal auditor transition. Between that and a handful of kind of the cleanup, I think that everybody came across. A lot that went into this. It was completed on June 30th, so did meet the deadline imposed by the state of Florida. I know there was discussion about the last time that was done. I don't know for a fact when that was. It sounded like it may be. So I think definitely an accomplishment from your team. I'm personally very excited to say, okay, let's get on a normal schedule. I think it was February or so that we were engaged. So even in a normal scenario with, say, a continuity in your team and everything else, that's still a pretty heavy lift on both sides. So in your financial statements, there are 5 reports that we issue that summarize the results of the audit. The first is the audit report on the financial statements themselves. We did issue an unmodified opinion that your financial statements are fairly presented in all material respects. Effectively, the numbers can be relied upon. This is the best opinion that we can issue and what you want to see and hear. The second report is on internal control and compliance. We performed the audit in accordance with government auditing standards, and while it's not an internal control audit, there's separate engagements for that. We do consider your internal controls over key financial areas, as well as really just the preparation of the financial statements themselves, because again, that is the primary objective of this audit, is to look at your financial statements and say, do you have reliable numbers? In that report, we identified 5 comments, a handful of those similar to prior years with all of the changes, turnover, everything else. The first 2 related to Just the timeliness of reconciliations and late in the game audit adjustments, as well as the bank reconciliation timeliness. Both of those were classified as material weaknesses. And then we had 3 comments we consider to be significant deficiencies, kind of the next level down, related to your accounts payable reconciliations, timeliness, purchasing, and capital asset reconciliation. A handful of those, and we have to look at in terms of, what were the controls, processes in place during fiscal year 24. So many of those, kind of were like looking backwards, and even in talking with staff, this year there may be some that just by nature of the timing of when we had the chance to talk about these, over halfway into fiscal year 25, some of these may be well on the way to being corrected, but still show up in next year's audit just from that timing perspective, just to give that quick heads up. And then the last 2 reports are required by the state of Florida. There is a series of recommendations. There's 5 listed there in that Chapter 10550 report. Those are not necessarily deficiencies, but other areas that we did want to communicate. And if there's any financial condition areas of concern, red flags, this report serves as one to really kind of notify the state. We had no such items identified. The town in a very overall healthy financial position. And then there was a response from management at the very back of the document addressing the status of all of those comments. So I like to spend a lot of time looking on, or not too much time, but a lot of the focus on is the numbers themselves, primarily your general fund, of course, as the primary operating fund of the city. And what we like to look at here is your fund balance, your assets minus liabilities. And you can see here your total fund balance, about a little over $9.25 million, way up from the prior year. Do have an asterisk there that was not just a $4 million surplus for fiscal year 24. There was about almost a $3 million restatement in terms of us correcting errors in the prior year financial statements to have a accurate starting point in the current year. That related to debt that was improperly included on the general fund balance sheet in your fiscal year 23 financial statements, as well as some other just timing issues, items that were missed last year. So we should have a good baseline now going forward. And what I like to look at is your bottom line, really unassigned fund balance as your unrestricted residual reserve relative to what you spent in the current year of almost $13.5 million. That $9.2 million unrestricted fund balance equates to just over 8 months in reserves at about 68%. The GFOA, Government Finance Officers Association, they recommend a bare minimum of 2 months, but they provide all sorts of reasons to say, hey, consider being higher for these reasons, such as if you're a relatively small government, if you're prone to natural disasters. And I always say everybody in Florida, whether or not you have a beach, you might as well, for purposes of saying what could the impacts be from a hurricane, when we're then talking multiple years typically to start seeing some of those dollars come back from FEMA. So we'd expect it to be, some degree well over that 2 months, but again, overall at a very healthy and stable reserve level. Your business type funds, what you like to look at here is your unrestricted net position, kind of again, a very similar bottom line residual reserve figure. What I look at here is really just trends to say, okay, do you have a sustained downward trend or something that might indicate, hey, are your rates where they need to be? Both your sewer and stormwater funds moving in really either a pretty flat or slightly incremental positive direction, so no concerns noted financially in those 2 funds from our perspective. And then lastly, for those who have worked with me for a number of years, it's probably a broken record every year talking about the pension liability. But I always like to at least have it on the record what that means in case there's any confusion in the budget process or otherwise. Because you do report a net pension liability of almost $5 million. That relates to the Florida retirement system, and it's really your theoretical share. To comply with accounting standards, you have to show that on your financial statements, but really the liability with FRS is every month based on payroll, you're making your required contributions, which the town has done. You do have the commissioner pension plan as well. That one, though, right around 100% funded, kind of plus or minus the last couple of years as the market shifts. So overall in a very positive standpoint in terms of where that plan is at as well. So those are the quick high-level remarks, but I'm more than glad to answer any questions or go into any more detail on anything, and I thank you all again for the chance to be here.
So on 1 to 10, where are we?
So we don't, we have our kind of formal, this is how we report. I think from a trend standpoint is where I look at in terms of, okay, you've got a lot to work at, to work on still and kind of get taken care of, which I know your team is doing. Trending absolutely in the right direction in a positive situation financially. So, I mean, I think overall it's like you got some work to do, but you're in a pretty good spot.
How do you view the government's effect on next year?
In what way?
The federal or?
The federal government
Oh, the federal?
interference or whatever you want to call it.
So I think we kind of wait and see. Obviously, I'm sure your team submitted the Doge request a
Yes,
couple
we did.
weeks ago. We kind of see what happens there. It's honestly one where I kind of see everything, and the typical response that I've had is at the local level, you're not going to find the things that you see Elon tweeting about in terms of here's a crazy item that everybody agrees if it was real is wasteful. I think at the local level, you might have differences of opinion more often in terms of is this worthwhile? So I see it's probably going to get debates like that going of what should everyone be paying for and what shouldn't they? And that's kind of out of my lane at that point.
Mine too.
So, but no, it'll be interesting to monitor for sure. We're keeping an eye on everything. And again, really have no clue what direction it's going to go until we start seeing some of the, Doge has gone to city of Gainesville and, different counties. And so until we see what comes out of that, I'm kind of.
Yeah, we were kind of watching the governor redline everything, and and so we're going like, well, this is not looking really great, So, well, thank you for your input.
Absolutely.
I
are you
wanna
starting the
thank you
next
for
audit?
being on time.
When are you starting the next audit?
You want to do what?
We'll be starting our planning procedures here the next couple of months. So there's absolutely not much of a break. Kind of so what our normal process is. Again, this year it was mid-February, from square one. What we normally like to do is get through kind of transactional and process, understanding, testing, things like that in terms of, we can look right now at your, 10 months of expenditures, start doing some testing, and then try to save the actual year-end balances once the books are closed. I mean, that part you have to wait on. So we absolutely normally try to get a lot of that work done. I don't know if the team's gotten to getting dates scheduled yet, but it'll be the next couple of months for sure.
Okay.
Thank you for your input.
Can I ask a question? And it's more so for us. When are we going to have a meeting to discuss the findings and what we're going to be doing to implement to make changes so that we don't have the same repeat findings?
When do you want to do it?
Who's? Oh, it's going to be on you, darling. Sorry.
It's all on you.
Okay, so it's going to be on you. We have some findings that we need to address. Sorry. We have some findings in the audit that we need to address on internal controls and just creating policies so that we can eliminate those. Would you be, I'm not going to pronounce your last name. I'm not even going to.
It's not cauliflower.
I just, I'm not even gonna,
Chellafor.
that's okay. Would you be available to help us create new policies to help kind of correct the findings, or is that just something that we need to do on our own? And if
So we're certainly always available to bounce ideas off of. I mean, so we welcome that from your team in terms of, hey, we're working on this. Does that make sense or any ideas? So yeah, we're always glad to provide feedback as well.
okay. So here, like basically from here on, we need to kind of address these internal findings. So,
How about we give the direction to the finance department to work on those?
Yep. Yep.
And then-
we'll have a commission meeting to bring it back so we can create some policies. Okay, James, you're on it.
Yes,
Okay,
he is.
perfect. All right, thank you. That was my only question.
Direction given. Anything else?
Yes, sir. I would like to recognize the finance direction department for all that hard work they done. And we are, for the first time or a very long time, done our audit on time. I really appreciate what you guys did.
A brief comment, Mayor, whenever it's appropriate, sir.
What's that?
I have a brief comment whenever it's appropriate. Okay. Just a couple of points I wanted to mention. The meeting that that Commissioner Mohammed is talking about were certainly up here, but as you take a look at the findings, we also have management comments, and what you will recognize is the fact, well, two facts related to that. The elements that caused us to have a comment from the auditor were events that occurred long before our finance director arrived. This is the previous fiscal year, and before the administrative team that's in place now was here. Secondly, we addressed those with the insertion of additional internal controls. We'll talk about that at the meeting, but we have comments in there. So now that we're starting a new fiscal year with kind of a clean slate, I anticipate, because we're able to rectify those things that happened before we got here, so to speak, that the things that we've done, and Zach will be able to comment on the efficacy of the things that we've done, and I think you'll find that his commentary is that it's been effective. And the last thing I just wanted to say was that Zach hasn't really taken full credit for what happened during the last 10 days. I call it the audit sprint, because we knew what that deadline was going to be. And James had his staff coming in on weekends to make sure we met that filing deadline. And Zach and his team, and it was discretionary on their part, but they chose to also burn the midnight oil to make sure that we brought this thing in on time. So it's a pretty clean audit, but anything that's not perfect occurred prior to our arrival, but obviously it has been addressed. But more importantly, this became a very unitary effort all the way from the beginning when Commissioner Morissette convened the selection committee. It's just the foot was on the accelerator from beginning to end. Now that we have a better time frame to deal with, Zach, I know that we won't have to feel so much under the gun, but I've already spoken to some of the Doge people, and they are duly impressed. The Florida Doge people, duly impressed by this audit document. So thanks for getting us across the finish line, Zach.
Thank you.
Are we gonna be applying for the GFOA award this year?
Yes, already applied for.
Okay, thank you.
Question answered. All right, anything else? Thank you, Zach, for your time.
Thanks, Al. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Zach and James.
All right. Reports of committees and town staff. Departmental updates. I guess we'll start with administration. So we've had a couple of staffing changes, a couple of emails that you guys have seen that have come out. And we're working on still getting the right people in the right place to these antiquated grants out. We got to get them finished. We've had them for way too long. They've been here longer than I've been here, longer than you've been here, as long as Assure has been here. They
That's
got to
20
go.
years.
Yeah, that's a long time. So we are staffing up properly now. We've always been a little short-staffed to be able to get these projects completed. Under the leadership and guidance of the town manager, we've been properly getting staffed, which is great. That's a key point on the administrative side. Contracts got to be fulfilled. Contracts, people need to be held accountable, and we're now seeing that is happening, which hasn't happened in a very long time around here as well. So that's what I have on the administrative side. Next will be Vice Mayor. On Vice Mayor, your finance report. Where are we at with finance?
I don't have the update yet. Hopefully the next meeting I will give you the details, because I was out of the town. I have to sit down with the finance, and then I will see what's going on, and I will give you guys the update next
Okay.
meeting.
At the workshops, as you guys got in my email, at the workshops is where we present we do this, we get the documents together, you meet with your respective departments, and then come up here and present your departments.
We can do a handover here because
Yeah,
I have met with James. James, would you fill us in on this? Because might as well get the numbers today.
And while we're at it, do we have the budget hearing set for September? Published? Good.
Yes, not published yet, but it will be published.
And they were included in the resolution the commission adopted in May.
Okay, good.
James Averman, Finance Director. I've got open invitations or standing invitations with each of the commissioners to review the budget at their leisure. I think I've met with Commissioner Hodgkins, Commissioner Morissette, and Commissioner Kasem thus far. So feel free to drop by my office at any time to discuss that officially. I'm currently preparing the slides for the budget presentation set to take place next month, so that will be ready for full review from the commission. And I'm also preparing the budget book. I've actually contracted with a firm to give us some graphics, et cetera, for some of the data that I'm compiling. So we will have an official budget book going into next month as well. So that's the current status. I didn't prepare any reports specifically today because I wanted to give the attention over to our audit firms to review the numbers. But again, feel free to drop by at any point over the next few weeks to review the budget in detail, and I will be having an official presentation next month for the commission.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Hodgkins, Public Works.
Well, I think there is a item on this that has to do with the Public Works Department. I think it'd be a good time to actually bring it forward.
What number is that?
It was, let's see. I'll find it.
9.4.
Patient. Be patient.
Yep. Discussion, possible action, and utilization of vacant lot behind Channel 10. Commissioner Hodgkins.
Oh, that one.
9-4.
Well, actually, that does have to do with it, too.
There's another?
There is something else. I saw it on here.
Morissette, Williams, Mohammed.
Oh, here it is. It's 8.5, which is a separate 9.4.
8.2.
There was a resolution about here in is to appoint Jeffrey Odoms as the town public service director. As you were all gone here for the last couple months, and that's basically when he started, you actually haven't seen anything that he's done going forward since that time. I have been here, and I have been kind of just for medical reasons, I've been around and have meetings with him, and he sends me reports. The reports are thorough and that, but I think that the period of time that he's been here is less than the time you were on vacation. I think that that we should actually maybe just push this away about 60 days and bring this back, bring this resolution back maybe 60 days from now, so we can reconsider it after we
Take action.
have a little more time to purview his efficiency. Any problem with that?
Yeah, we're just getting a departmental update for you right now. We'll get to that resolution.
So you want to table it?
No,
I want to table it. I would like to table it for
we'll
maybe
get to
60.
that item here. This is where we stand in Public Works. Where do we stand on projects? Are we falling behind? Are we getting caught up?
No, we're getting caught up. We have a good crew. We have a great crew, actually. And Michael and the guys that are out in the field are working really hard. They're doing a great job. So,
What issues
but
are we having around town?
Most of the issues we're having is getting, just getting parts and things like that, that slows things down. But it's moving forwards. Anyway, the other issue I had was, what was the other one? 9.4? 9.4. There was a lot out back at Channel 10, which was being
Commissioner
utilized
Hodgkins?
by a contractor.
Yeah, let's wait till we get to that item for that.
Oh, okay.
So,
All right.
what about the sinkhole Because the sinkhole is back again.
Well,
Where do we stand with that?
Sinkhole was supposedly going to be, I don't know if he got to it or not, but it was on this list to actually go and re-camera it, find out what's going on, to find out why it's sinking again. And it was supposed to go forward, so we'll see what happens.
Town
He's
manager,
prepared
do
to
you have
give
an
a-
update on that?
Yeah, I do. If you don't mind, I'm going to defer to Mr. Odoms on that for a moment. May I do so?
Go for
Mr.
it.
Odoms, you approach the microphone and just give us the Reader's Digest version of what you've encountered on the sinkhole and what your game plan is.
Good evening, Jeff Odoms, Acting Public Works Director. Good evening, Mayor and Commission. As to the depression on Southwest 52nd Avenue, we've been in contact with Flowtech, which was the original project workers on the project. I've gotten the videos. I've looked at the videos. I've also engaged Southern, I always get these two companies mixed up, please forgive me, Southeastern Engineering. And we have their contract for Piggyback to be able to have them televise and then initiate excavation so we can investigate exactly what's happening and make those repairs. We are in the process now of solidifying that purchase order so we can begin that work shortly, hopefully in the next couple of weeks.
Jeff, is that mic on?
I believe it is, sir, yes.
Jeff, what's the timeline on 25th?
25th Street, the stormwater project?
Yeah.
That is now been awarded to Southeastern also. Excuse me, I have Southern Underground and Southeastern on my mind all the time because we've worked with both of those companies. Southeastern Engineering has that contract already, and they've been preparing and submitting their submittals on all the infrastructure needed for that project. Right now, it's projected to begin the end of this month, the first week of September. That would be excavation and actual construction.
Looking forward to see a hole in the ground.
Okay. Do you have anything else for Public Works?
No.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Morissette, Police, Fire.
Yes. Which one are we looking at right now? Because I have one later on.
We're just doing reports for the departments.
Well,
Where are we at, public safety wise? How do our crime stats look?
the police department is doing a fantastic job, and they also, on top of their grants, been showing a lot of due diligence. I really appreciate the police department's due diligence and their professional attitude to everything. So things are looking very good. I don't know if you have any comments, Daniel, but from our daily talks, things look very well, and we are almost fully staffed, which is other very positive thing. Is it one or two open spaces?
Well, our new officer starts on Monday, the 11th, and we'll have one vacancy at that point right there.
That's well done in this climate.
So, good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners. Dan DeCourcy with the Police Department. One thing I really want to highlight here is the FDLE Fibers grant. When we first came on board, we weren't aware of this grant. We were looking for a records management system. We found out that a grant was in fact available, but it was getting ready to expire at the first of the year. Contact with FDLE, we were able to get that grant extended till June 30th. Subsequently, we worked with a records management company. We obtained SmartComp. We were able to get the system up and running. And I'm proud to say that with the help of finance, IT, we all worked on this together, and all our members of the police department, we were able to move this thing forward and meet the due date of June 30th. Since then, we just recently received a check from them for $287,347.80. So to me, that's huge. We were able to get a records management system that's now going to provide us with daily data, hotspots, and everything else. And as we start building it, we'll have a master file of people we come in contact with, as well as history on residents, so we know if it's a hotspot and things like that. Not only will our dispatch center know, but our officers will be able to look that up in the computer and know that this is a hotspot. With that, we've done also a body-worn camera upgrade through Axon. We purchased new body cameras. We're updating them. They're on their way in now. We're getting in the process of implementing them, as well as the latest tasers for our officers. Again, more updated equipment for our officers in the field. Several of our officers responded to Orlando for the Florida Law Enforcement Liaison Program's Traffic Safety Challenge, and where our agency was recognized and came in second place regarding our excellence in traffic safety and seatbelt violations and things of that nature. So that was a big hit for us as well. Our officers even being recognized by other agencies. BSO, basically, they sent us a letter basically thanking our officers for their due diligence in lifting fingerprints and being able to identify suspects. It's huge. That's a big part for our detectives in solving our crimes and so on. So I'd like to, give kudos to Officer Estiva, Officer Rimmer, Sergeant Mobley. These people were the ones who were commended for their expertise. And we're training our community safe service aides as well in lifting fingerprints so that we're able to obtain more information about the suspects. Our recruitment and team expansions, we put on several officers. Like Commissioner Morissette said, we have Officer Brazade, who started with us, Officer Pollock, who started with us, Sergeant Bias, who started with us, as well as Officer Robert Bethay, who'll be coming with us on the 11th. Again, one vacancy left in the agency, and we should hope to have that filled soon. We're currently advertising for that position. We're looking at some other platforms to get us out there even more. We feel that maybe we're not getting the best bang for our buck and being closed and just using Indeed, so we're trying to look at another avenue. So we'll see where all that goes. In-service training and qualification. First times for the agency, we're able to we participated in a joint training with Sea Ranch Lakes Police Department, where we utilized their firearms instructors. They used our firearms instructors. We combined training with them. We went over use of force. We did our mandatory qualifications through FDLE, the use of force, discretional shooting, as well as our long rifle qualifications. So we continue to move forward on that. We thank the Broward Public Safety Center with the Broward College out there in Davie. They were very good in assisting us with that. So we continue to build those partnerships with those agencies. Our accreditation, our policies continue to be developed. Every day we're working on these things. Now we're getting closer. We're going to start building our files, getting ready for the accreditation process. So that starts this month, and our accreditation manager has been working diligently with the deputy chief as well as Captain Pritchard regarding that. Utilization of the ARPA funds, we're doing that. We're still utilizing them. We're buying equipment for ballistic shields and vests and so on for officers to get maximum protection out in the field. Strengthening our external relationship. We met with the state attorney's office to discuss case filing. How can we improve our case filing systems with our agency and our officers? What can we do to make our cases better? And basically, we expressed our concerns with the state attorneys there that while everything is done electronically now, we lose a lot because our officers aren't able to meet face-to-face with these attorneys and determine what strengths and what weaknesses they are in their cases to make better cases so that we can get our conviction rate up. Health and welfare for staff. We've contracted with a licensed psychologist for wellness assessments for all our officers, including myself and the deputy chief and all command staff and so on. That way we can determine where our officers are and know that there's a resource outside the organization, strictly confidential, that nobody's going to tell on or anything else like that. So we want to give as much as we can to our officers so that they have an outlet if they do have issues. Our officers see a lot. They've been through a lot of traumatic events throughout their lives, throughout their careers. What goes on at home, it could spill from the community that they bring home, or they have a bad day at home and they bring that to community. So we want to let them know that these mechanisms are in place. I even took it so far as to attend a critical incident class up in Port St. Lucie that FDLE is doing for officers that have been involved in critical incidents. So it's a post-critical incident training class, and you bring officers involved there, and it's another outlet for them as well to talk about what they experienced, and other officers are there to say, we've experienced the same thing, we're here for you, and so on. So I've actually made contact with the Broward Police Academy out there, the Public Safety Institute, with them in reference to bringing that here to Broward County so we can offer that to all the agencies in Broward, and more importantly, have mentors and stuff trained here in Broward. So if there's a critical incident, there'll be a team of people that can come out from all the different agencies in Broward, Dade, or Palm Beach County to assist these officers in their time of need. Future projects, we're looking for, approval to expand the operational capacity. Again, we're looking for a federal task force officer. We're going to put someone on a task force, a money laundering unit, as well as a community policing / crime prevention officer that'll work with our communities, our homeowners associations, as well as our businesses, help them with any community issues they might have. Crime prevention, do crime prevention assessments, discuss CPTED, crime prevention through environmental design principles, so that we can curb crime and make them aware of what's going on. More importantly, we had submitted a grant that Captain Pritchard had found regarding special victims, and this grant's going to cover domestic violence. Believe it or not, when you look at our numbers in domestic violence in the town, we have a lot of domestic violence cases here. So this is to address the domestic violence. One detective will be solely assigned to that. The grant will pay for their salary for 3 years. And that's all they'll do is work domestic violence and sexual assault cases. So that's to be their sole responsibility to make sure nothing falls through the crack on these. We know about the unfortunate incident that happened in Tamarack that fell on deaf ears, and it was a domestic violence type situation. We don't want that in the town of Pembroke Park. So hopefully we'll know something within the next 2 weeks regarding that grant. I mean, we continue to move forward every day. I mean, I can't tell you how proud I am of everybody in the police department, the teamwork, again, with and all the other departments, Public Works and everything else here. Everybody has done a phenomenal job, and I thank everybody from the bottom of my heart. Any questions?
I just want to express how impressed and how I'm overwhelmed with how fast you have built this department and how professional you're going about things, and the cooperation, the openness between IT and the finance department has been working so well. I'm flabbergasted. I never thought this police department was going to be a super success like it is today under your leadership.
So thank you. And
thank you very, very much.
It's the team. It's the team. I can't do it. I'm just trying to steer it the best I can, but it's everybody on the team that takes part in this, and I owe it to them.
Yeah, and personally, I want to thank you for the way you inform me when things are happening, that you bring to my attention. Of course, I'm not sitting there looking over your shoulder all the time, but I appreciate the way you communicate. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner, Mayor Jacobs, since he was able to give his presentation, could the other department heads give their
I'm
presentation?
going to have them come up and do it as well.
You are? Okay, because
Yes.
I just want to make sure, because there were some questions I
We're going
had.
to go to fire next, and then I'll bring them back up.
Okay, thank you.
Fire? Fire department?
Oh, I have nothing on the fire department. There has not really been
Chief
much
Kane, you
going
wanna come
on,
up for a
but
minute?
Kane, you, I mean, there's just the standard numbers.
120 calls. Slow season.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Madam Vice Mayor, Commission, and staff, Battalion Chief Michael Kane, Broward Sheriff's Office Fire Rescue. This presentation, I have 3 months of statistics to present to you. I can just present you the final numbers if that's agreeable. Okay. So for the month of April, we responded to 202 calls. In the month of May, 183. And in the month of June, 174. The trend was downward. That's pretty typical for summertime. People are out of town, things of that nature. People are on vacation. I expect the numbers to rise again once we get into full swing in the fall here. That's my presentation. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them for you.
That's it.
I just want to say thank you for offering to help us with the Narcan rollout, so I appreciate that.
You're quite welcome. And welcome back from your summer vacation. I hope it was very enjoyable for you. All right. Have a good evening.
To seeing you at the back to school giveaway.
Saturday. Time?
10 o'clock.
We'll be there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Mr. Odoms, can you come up and present for your department, please?
Good evening, Mayor and Commission. Jeff Odoms, Acting Public Works Director. I put together a pretty detailed report on some of the things we've been doing over my short time here that was presented to the commission. I won't go into all of it in specific detail for time constraint. I'll simply say that there's a lot of work that we're moving forward with. The projects are beginning to come into focus and be able to be moving forward again, as many were stalled for different reasons that we've been able to determine and start to clear those projects and those stumbling blocks out of the way. Grants, for instance, there are a number of grants that we are in the process of taking through the closeout process for reimbursement. I will have a better idea of exactly how much is in the pipeline for reimbursement probably by our next meeting, as I've gotten a couple of team members in this week that are now expediting that process to give us a clearer picture of where we are. Closing out the grants is a key point for us because as we do that, we become eligible for more grants to continue our rehabilitation of our infrastructure. So as that report gets a little bit more understood, I'll be able to give you a better picture of that. There are a couple of other things on the agenda for later on, so I'll leave those items out of this particular report. We'll talk about them then if you have any questions. For right now, I'll simply say thank you for the opportunity to serve. I appreciate that. And I'll leave myself available for any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Any
Thank you.
questions?
No, not for him.
Who else do you want to speak with?
I don't have my lobbyist reports. Who is getting that? Where are they? Because I didn't get an email for the
Didn't
lobbyist
get
report.
one either.
Usually Dave comes to this meeting.
Yeah, but we don't really get a written report too on
Yeah.
everything, and I haven't received one.
Yeah.
I haven't seen one either.
Can our lobbyists get that to us?
Yeah.
I'll make those arrangements. I'm going to see Dave tomorrow anyhow.
Okay.
And then who's going to do that
Thank you, sir.
presentation for that? Will we just have Dave come and do his presentation himself? Okay.
Yeah. We'll just have him do it at the next meeting.
Okay, that's fine.
That's fine. All right. Let's move to old business. Update on Ecos Development Agreement. Town Planner Michael Vondermeer. Millen.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. Mike Vondermeulen, Consultant Town Planner. This is just to provide the Commission an update on what has occurred. To give you a brief past timeline, that the developers agreement for the Ecos project was actually heard at the April 30th workshop. And then it was supposed to be agendized onto the May 14th agenda for adoption. There was quite a bit of information that came to light that affected the developers agreement right about the time of the hearing, and the item was pulled by town staff. To give you a little bit more information on what had occurred, the Ecos project was supposed to connect to the county, a county sewer system, bypassing the town and bypassing town revenue. After discussions with some of the town's engineering consultants, it was realized that there was actually a manhole that was extremely close, if not even on the property in question. So town staff, town attorney, town manager, as well as the developer and developers team, developers, civil engineers, all met, discussed. It was agreed by the developer at their expense that they would actually connect to the town's sewer system, thus the town receiving all the revenue for the use of the water and sewers, and the need for the developers agreement started slowly eroding away. There were 3 items that were in the developers agreement. The first was the condition for the EV charging stations, and those were voluntarily agreed to. Since the time of this the agreements back in April and May. The developer has submitted their building permits. The plans do have the electric charging stations and electric conduit on the plans, so that essentially they have satisfied that requirement. The second one is to construct a welcome sign for the town on the 52nd, and that if items 1 and 3, which was the connection to the sewer, if those are resolved, then the need for a full developers agreement for a welcome sign is really not necessary. There are other avenues, other types of agreements that can be handled, as well as the enforcement of not issuing a TCO or not issuing a CO until the sign is installed. So this was something that was voluntarily brought by the developer and agreed to. So it is in the works. I believe the design is in the works, and I guess it's really the off-site permitting that is actually required through Broward County. That is probably the last hoop that needs to be accomplished before they can install it. And because they have their contractors out on site during the construction, should be very easy to go ahead and install the sign at the same time. And then the last was the $200,000 contribution, and that was mainly to offset those revenues. So if it's acceptable, and the town staff has reviewed this and believed it is acceptable, that now that they are connecting to the town system, the actual need for the $200,000 contribution will be well surpassed with the revenues that we'll receive over the years of that development. So with that, we will probably, depending on the input from the commission here, go ahead and completely withdraw the developers agreement, come up with a signed, more individualized agreement for the off-site signage, and then just move forward.
Yeah, I would just offer the intent of this item was really to close the loop, because the commission may recall at your last workshop on April 30th, the takeaway from that workshop was you would be seeing a developers agreement at your meeting in May, and that didn't occur for the reason that Mr. Van der Meulen stated. We wanted to make sure we came back to the commission publicly to provide an update as to why that agreement did not appear on the agenda, let you know where we were with the development. The good news is most of the issues, if not all of the issues, have been resolved through separate means. The building plans that were submitted specifically addressed the EV charging stations the commission required. The hookup to the town's utility infrastructure and system will provide for the revenue that was otherwise contemplated by the $200,000 payment. And a developer agreement has specific legal requirements. It's a recorded document. We really don't need that kind of formality to memorialize a commitment to develop a sign. So we'll work with the Developers Council to come up with another mechanism just to ensure that that gets done with the less formality than the developers agreement. And they'll move forward with their development, and we'll move forward consistent with that direction.
Okay. Thank you.
That's nice. Nice to see things are moving forward.
Thanks, Blake.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Nope.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Von Meulen has the next one as well.
Is that?
He has the next one as well.
Oh, you got the next one too?
And the next one after that.
Oh, you sure do. New business, extension of moratorium for self-storage facilities, additional 6 months, town planner, Michael V. Resolution number 2025 XXX.
Yes. After the presentation of this item, I'd like to discuss a few other things that we have pending, inform the commission of everything that is going on in the town planning department in respects to code amendments, and proffer maybe either an additional meeting or, due to the size of the number of items, staggering these to come into the commission. But let's go ahead and do this item first. We realized that the moratorium for self-storage in the M1 zoning district had expired. The original one expired on May 6th. So in an abundance, and no applications have come forward since May 6th. But in an abundance of caution, while we're still processing the M1 code amendment for self-storage through the Planning and Zoning Board and through the Town Commission, we thought it would be prudent to go ahead and extend the moratorium for another 6 months. And so that's what this particular item is. And then afterwards, I'd like to bring up 2 more items.
Do we need to vote on this?
We have to put that on the
We can just
consent.
do that.
It'll be on the regular meeting agenda.
Yeah, we'll just put that on the consent agenda.
If I may, yeah, that one would not be on consent 'cause it requires a public hearing.
Does it require? Okay.
Yeah.
We'll make that a line item.
Thank you, Mayor.
All right. The next thing was I was just informed by Mr. Lewis that the moratorium that we had on some of the prohibition of particular signs has also expired. That expired on June 1st. So if it pleases the board, we can either begin this process and bring it up at the next workshop, or if it's appropriate to add that moratorium at the same time.
Well, this item actually is not formally on the workshop agenda. This is part of the overall rewrite to the sign code that we had been contemplating earlier in the year. As a part of that rewrite process, one of the recommendations and input from some of your business community was to change the code to allow for A-frame or sandwich signs along the sidewalk, so long as they don't impede or interfere with pedestrian traffic. The commission, again, 6 months ago, 5 or 6 months ago, essentially put in a stay on the enforcement of that particular provision to not have any code enforcement as it relates to those types of signs pending the review of the overall sign code. That was simply done by motion at the time. Again, as Mr. Von Muellen indicated, that has expired given the time frame over the summer. If it's the commission's intent to extend that stay on A-frame enforcement while we work through the sign code, we could put that on the agenda as a line item. That has less formality of a moratorium, which has a specific impact as it relates to building, permit, and development applications, but that's more direction to your staff to stay the enforcement of a particular provision of your sign code.
So if there's no objection, we'll make that another line item.
No.
All right.
Lastly, Mayor, Commission, the town planning staff is actually working on 6 text amendments at various sections of the code. As you heard, 2 of them were self-storage and the sign code. Another one was going to be looking for direction on the color palette. The Live Local ordinance, which had been brought up, it looks like there's quite a few additional changes that the state has made. So it may be, again, looking for the direction from the town as whether or not to even amend the code, because it is a preemption from the state of Florida, but to just go ahead and maybe just create a policy that can then be posted on the town's website. There is a parking code in terms of EV, putting some teeth on the EV. We're also checking, because there is another preemption in the state of Florida about EVs. So there may be another code amendment instead of a requirement, and a recommendation that, it's in the best interest, the town's sustainability policies, environmental policies, that we encourage developers to, install, provide conduit, or actually install charging stations. I think we've had testimony, I don't know if it was at this meeting or one of the other meetings I've been to. A lot of the developers, residential developers, are installing charging stations, especially in townhomes, where it becomes a marketing item and a sales item. Also with multifamilies, they're also starting to begin to include EV stations. So again, I think there's a bigger policy that would be best discussed to receive input from the commission before we finalize a text amendment. There are changes again by the state of Florida with the alcohol licensing and the distance separation requirements. And then lastly, this is a new item that there is a new preemption by the state of Florida in terms of platting. This is fairly new. I believe it took effect August 1st. I need to look at it a little bit more. It encourages the platting process to be administrative. And so you would not formally see those essentially square box drawings, coming to the commission for hearings. It was definitely some kind of encouragement there. Now, if there is platting in the town charter, then the charter prevails. So the state would not preempt you if it's in the charter. The Broward County is in the process. Platting is in their charter. So, but they are in the process of changing their charter so that the plat process can become administrative at the county level as well.
Yeah, and platting, if I could just supplement to that, platting and land use in that context is one of the very few instances where the Broward County charter preempts municipal charters. Platting and land use, ethics, environmental, but otherwise the city, the town's charter would prevail. But again, the platting process, we don't approve plats. Those all go to the Broward County Planning Council. We may have the opportunity to make a recommendation or submit a letter of no objection as it relates to a particular plat amendment, but ultimately those are currently go through the county. Our office is also digesting that new preemption legislation that Mr. Von Buren referred to.
Can I ask a question?
Yep, go ahead.
Town planner, we all agree that, electric charging is the future and all that, but we also seen electric charging take down a whole airport parking system. And is there any practical way to literally have firewalls between charging vehicles? Because, the spread of the fire very often, when you have a fast charger. I know the police, the chief of fire just went out, but
Yeah.
I spoke to him about car fires, and today's strategy is to let it burn out and try to prevent it from spreading to other charging vehicles. But is there any way to make literally when you build a parking lot like that, to make some sort of firewall that would concentrate the heat and, when they burn it out, so they have a chance controlling it?
I'm not sure. I have not seen any type of structure or mechanism that
Some kinds
actually
of a
addresses that.
suffocation device. or
No,
something.
just a firewall so that the heat is concentrated upwards, because some of the older battery technologies are prone to catch fire while fast charging. And if there was a simple way of building a firewall between cars or something that was inexpensive, fire-proof tiles or whatever, because it is an issue. I saw it took out the operation of a whole airport because the fire destroyed the parking.
The parking garage, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that Tampa or Jacksonville?
Was it somewhere in Pennsylvania or?
It was Jacksonville. Yeah, it was Jacksonville, Florida. Yeah. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do some research.
There
on
might be
that?
a simple solution with some fireproof tiles. I know the quarry tiles take a lot of heat. It might not. I don't know if the chief, the fire chief, can give any input on it, but
Plan for the next workshop on it.
yeah, I think we should
Give you time to have a discussion with them and figure some things out to present to the commission.
So if it pleases the board, we'll go ahead and start bringing these items to the workshops for direction.
Do it.
Okay, great.
Couple at a time.
All righty, thank you.
You also have 8.2.
Yes.
Consideration for approval of ordinance amending Article 3, Division 6, M1 Industrial District, the town, of the town code.
Yes, Mayor, Commissioners, there is an opportunity for a big box retailer, actually hardware store, to enter into the town of Pembroke Park. So the town staff has been working diligently with the developer of that property in efforts to help the project move forward. They have some complicated real estate transactions that are going because they are actually assembling various properties in the area. I believe there is one particular property in the rear, which is actually still part of it, that is currently zoned M1. It is a self-storage facility, and there is hesitancy on the current owner as to if the deal falls apart for any reason, that, and we rezoned everything to retail or to B1, that all of a sudden his self-storage facility becomes non-conforming.
Yep.
So this was an effort by the town to assist with this particular development, and we have proposed some minor text amendments to the M1 that would satisfy those type of requirements. It would allow particular big box retail. It's restricted to Hallandale Beach Boulevard, so the impact of this text is somewhat limited, but there could be the possibility somewhere else in the future. But again, it all still requires approval from the town as each site plan comes through. As the site plan comes through, although it will have that M1 designation, we will still be required by Broward County to allocate commercial, what they call commercial flex. So you have industrial land use, you would just use the commercial flex, satisfies the county, satisfies the town, and the development can move forward without any land use plan amendments or any special rezonings or anything like that. So the amendment is to go ahead and allow that to occur, and then there is additional language in terms of hours of operation. And again, this is not an industrial facility, so therefore, regulating a retail type establishment on the business operation hours, they pretty much just exempt themselves from that industrial regulation.
Okay.
And this is also quasi-judicial, require a line item on the
Line
agenda
item on
and
this.
public hearing.
Any discussion on this? We all understand what's going
No,
on?
we should guarantee the owner of the storage facility that we're not jeopardizing his existence. Of some-
Town clerk, make this a line item, please. All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Finance director.
I could probably speak to this next item. It's really a housekeeping item.
All right.
This just amends the.
Point 8. Go ahead.
I made point 3. It is a resolution to update the signatory authority. The commission now has new officers given the action taken back in May. So this would update the records with regards to signing authorities for the commission. We do this every year. We change officers or whenever that would occur on the commission. So this is really a housekeeping item for your finance department and for your lending institutions and banks.
Questions?
Yes. So normally in the past, we used to actually get, I don't know what it was called, but Christian used to send us a list of everything.
Check register.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you, I'm the one who kind of ruffled the feathers and caused some issues here this summer over this. I refuse to let anybody have my digital signature and sign anything that is not me actually signing it. I've been implicated by the Office of Inspector General on a contract that I never signed that someone here in the town of Pembroke Park forged my signature on. My credit card was used without my authorization, which ended up coming back on me. So those two situations I refuse to let happen again. I sure will tell you, day one when I got elected and sat up here, I said I'm not going to jail for anybody in this town, and refused to let that happen. So therefore, my digital signature does not go on anything. It is my actual signature. Now, for 2 years as mayor, every time the check's processed, I would get the file. It would go through 5 hands before it got to me. I was the last person to review. After I would review all the checks that were going out, then I would sign off on it and they would go out. The problem was I consistently found problems every single time. I'm not an accountant. I am not an accountant. I'm not a CPA. And there is no reason as the final signature I should have been finding issues. The problem was the staffing that we had here. The town manager would sign off on it. I don't think it was you. I think it was Ray. I don't know if you went
Ray.
through the checks.
Yeah, I think it was Ray.
I don't know if you went through the checks or, but anyways, I was the 5th person, and every time I was coming up with errors.
Yeah, I never got to
And
see it.
so I refuse to give my signature to let anyone just stamp anything with my name on it, because when it comes down to it, it's me that ends up in jail, and I'm not doing that for anybody here. If it's my signature, it's my signature. And I've never signed anything Mr. Mayor Jacob, ever. But that contract is signed Mr. Mayor Jacobs, and the OIG held me accountable to it. So I completely disagree with their findings on that. So this is where this comes down to, is the authorization of the signatories for the checks.
Well, I haven't been receiving any any of the registries anymore from the time Christian left. I haven't received them, so I was
Last 2
surprised
years,
to
I've
see
just
it.
been a commissioner, so I have no idea.
Well, no, I want to put it on the record because I actually received a check and I saw my stamp and I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't authorize this. So is any of the commissioners up here actually getting the check registry and reviewing them, because your stamps are going on all of these checks? And it was something that happened a long time ago where we agreed on the day, as this was back during Howard's day, that it would go through the manager, department heads, and everyone else before it came to us for signature. And I'm not getting anything but getting checks with my stamp on it. So that's why I sent an email. I sent you a text message over the summer like, hey.
I didn't know what you were referring to.
Yeah, I was like, hey, I got a check for myself with my signature on it. And I'm like, okay, I didn't sign it, nor did I see it, but I hadn't seen a check registry since Christian was here. And so I didn't know, and I want to put it on the record that I didn't know I was signing things because I haven't seen it.
So
To
our
approve it.
process has somehow changed when Aleem was the acting town manager, and I believe David DeLima was the finance at the time, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somehow our processes just stopped the way they've always been done. I have no idea how and why, but for 2 years I was just a commissioner, so I wasn't responsible for any of that. So I don't know how the commission was handling it, but apparently it wasn't going through the same, 5 reviews before the checks went out.
And I would defer to the manager and the finance director with regards to the process by which checks are executed. It would not be uncommon to have a policy, something, in writing, either approved by the commissioner or approved by your
I think
manager.
we need to
Had
come
a
up with a
policy
solution.
that said that it had to go through all those before it came to us, and we were the final signatures. So, yeah, we had a policy before for that. So I was assuming, I'm gonna put this clear, I was assuming that they were signing the checks, Eric and Bill, and that they were reviewing it until I got my check 2 weeks ago, where I was like, hey, I'm signing a check. I didn't.
Yeah, I think it's worth.
So what it was the vice mayor and mayor were the top line of the check, and then it was a remaining commissioner who was the bottom line of the check. So it had to have 2 signatures on it, and that's how it was set. So
The registry itself.
yeah, but the
had
registry itself had everything on it,
everybody else's signature.
but it also had all the backup that went along with it, and that's where I kept finding errors in all of this. Again, I'm not a CPA, I'm not an accountant, but I continually found problems with this. So they kept trying to get me, in fact, when I first got here, they wanted to get a rubber stamp with my signature on it so they could just stamp documents without me. And I said no. So I'm not going to let that happen, but we need to come up with a solution to that. So is that something you and the finance director can work on?
Yeah, James and I will develop a policy, and then what we'll do is we'll confer with Zach. He's not here anymore, the fellow from our auditing firm.
Right.
And then he'll finalize that policy, and we'll present it to this body for approval.
Okay. Thank you. I think that covers that one there. Any questions?
No, I never been aware of the payment process, and I do not believe I ever signed a check.
You may have.
Yes, you have.
I have?
Yes, you have.
Oh,
And me as well?
Yes.
Well, I never
Permission
saw
to,
one, so.
yeah, I don't believe I did.
Let me see.
What's that?
What you got
May
me
I request
into.
permission to approach
Sure,
and
sure. Go ahead.
clarify the status of the check process for the town? We do have an official process for the checks. The checks that do go out, they have digital signatures for 2 commissioners. But one of the findings that you'll see that was discovered was that at certain points last year, due to time constraints and personnel constraints, we did not necessarily go through every step in the approval chain before cutting a check. The process that we currently have in place requires approval from 3 different levels, from a person at 3 levels. The clerk will submit the check request. The accounting manager will approve. Then I will approve. And at that point, we have a trail within our accounting system that the auditors can access and see. So that is actually one of the fixes that we implemented in place this year as a result of one of the findings that we got. So we do have a 3-step level check process officially, but it does utilize digital signatures for the commissioners because it would not be feasible to chase down commissioners for every payment that went out of the
I
town.
came in once a
They
week.
used to do
process.
checks.
Used to do that
They used
all
to
the
do-
time. We
When I
just
first
get it.
came here, they were actually,
While I was mayor my entire time, I came in once a week, sat down and reviewed all of it and went through and signed every check.
Policy on its way,
So,
folks.
We'll
What's
let me tell you, when it comes down to it, I'm warning this commission
They're
right now, when it comes down to it, the state attorney general is going to come after you because your name is on that check. So you were accountable for that. So
where is this
Sign it or
rubber,
not.
where is this rubber stamp at?
it's in our accounting system. Tyler,
Burn it. I don't want my name on it.
we'll do, but we
what would be the legal consequences of this? I was not even aware that there were rubber stamps.
jail, prison. There's lots of legal consequences that come with it. So if fraud happens, it happens. You can get investigated for 2 years by the Broward Inspector General, and they will dig through every single thing that they can come up with and find nothing, and then make something out of nothing just to come after you. So it's not fun. It's not worth it. So we got to come up with.
We'll create
Having a policy would be a key component to settling the issue. But to Commissioner Morissette's point, if somebody's using your signature or executing your signature without your authorization or permission, you may be a victim in that conversation. So in other words, you're not the one who's affirmatively signing your name. Someone's signing on your behalf. Again, fraud is the key issue here, but there's a lot of components with regards to criminal intent. The IG's office may get involved. I'm not suggesting anything that's going to happen, but I think having a policy in place would better define and resolve a lot of the discussion you're having.
also wanted to add that we do roughly about 1.3 million in volume for checks. We did not have any fraud alerts flagged in the past fiscal year. So we do take our responsibility very seriously in the finance team, and we do go through but now, so we do have a chain. It records it in the system, so we know who's actually doing the approving. So there is a paper trail for every check that does go out. So I just wanted to let you know that that exists for auditing purposes, for to escape any legal ramifications.
Responsible for signing all the checks from now.
But we do have a trail and a way to print out a document to show who approved at every level.
And just
So
remember,
we do have that in
not
place.
and it's not only checks. Remember, it's also contracts and electronic signatures. A lot of cities have electronic signature policies. I mean, DocuSign and those types
We'd
of
be
programs.
aware of it, though.
Agree? No question, undoubtedly.
I saw my name on two
Well,
checks.
I'll tell you, our office was very reluctant to get on board with allowing our municipal clients to use electronic signatures. And we got a lot of pushback from some of the public officials we worked for who insisted it would make things so much easier. And when the federal court system finally started accepting electronic signatures, we didn't have a lot of basis to say no.
And I personally like DocuSign because everything I sent
It's tracked. There's a
clerk's
log.
office,
Yeah.
pull it up, and I
Correct.
can look and pull up everything.
It
that I
is
signed.
also all tracked. Yeah.
And
Correct.
it's tracked and logged. So, so there's good sources to
bad.
use it. But there's
Commissioner Mohammed mentioned something about receiving a register in the past.
Yeah.
We've seen what's happened with auto pen scandals in the last few weeks. So I would say that that's something that we could feasibly incorporate into our process.
you guys can
ensuring
come
that
up
you
with the
get it.
process and bring it forward to us. Would appreciate
We'll do
that.
so.
Will do. Thank you.
So Neil, Mayor, so this would be a line item instead of consent, right? This resolution, you want to table it?
This could be on consent.
That's consent.
Yeah, this can be on consent.
Okay.
All right. Any more discussion on that? We move on.
Oh, I learned a lot.
All right.
Scary.
Food in prison isn't that great. So, all right.
I did what?
8-4. Consideration for and approval agreement with the Broward County Supervisor of Elections for the 2026 state primary and general elections. Town clerk, this is on you. Resolution 2025.
Yes, so the supervisor of elections, they sent us the agreement to sign. The primaries are next year in 2026, and they want to use our chambers and the park, and they just want us to enter into an agreement.
There's no objections. Consent.
Or not?
Oh wait, it's is this a resolution?
But who's signing it?
It's a resolution. Line item.
Line item?
Line item.
Okay.
That would be you, Cynthia. Sign your life away, my friend.
8.5, resolution appointing Jeff Odoms as Public Services Director, Town Manager Lynch, Resolution 2025-025.
All right, this is the one where I had actually asked if we could table this for 60 days. Like I had stated before, everybody has been gone. Nobody really knows what anybody's been doing for the last 60 days. So I think that it would be good for us to just give and the gentleman himself, although appears to be doing a good job, I think that he's only been here 45 days maybe. So I think a little more time under his belt would give us a sufficient amount of time to make that kind of a decision.
Yeah, I just have one comment as a matter of procedure, and I appreciate what Commissioner Hodgkins is saying. We know this is a workshop this evening, so there really isn't an opportunity to take any action. I don't have any issue if the commission, as a matter of policy, wanted to table or defer the item, but I would just suggest that it should be on the regular meeting agenda as a line item, and when it comes up for action, would be the appropriate time to then defer it. But this evening, just given given the procedure of a workshop, it'd be appropriate to move it to the regular meeting and then take that action if that was the will of the commission.
Okay.
I will, I got to disagree with you. Since May 24th, I've been busier with the town than I've been for the last 2 years. And I consistently meet and talk with all our directors, department heads, including the police department. I met with them earlier today. So I am just as busy as I've ever been in getting this town back. I speak with Mr. Odoms. I speak with.
Well, you're only one of 5.
Yeah.
6. The people up here who have done, everybody else was away. So, so.
Just because you don't
I'm
see
just
me
trying
here
to be
doesn't
fair
mean I'm
about
having
it.
communication
Be
with you.
fair about it.
Mr. Odoms has a very solid reputation in the industry. He's published. There's a neighboring town that is very upset he is no longer with. I know I got a phone call from the mayor over there about
Well,
it.
there's a couple neighboring towns that
yeah.
we're not too happy with.
Hey, your reputation precedes yourself, and what you're doing is phenomenal for the town. So I really do appreciate it. So, but I do speak with Mr. Odoms often, and like the way he's getting our public works department back up and running the way it actually should, where we haven't had someone in there for a very long time that had the skill set he has and knows what they're doing to be able to get it back where the town is progressing forward, and we're getting rid of these old grants and fixing these. Going to be nice fixing the sewer problems here in the town. So,
May I?
go ahead.
I believe we have a hiring process established in town, and in order not to get in trouble with other government entities, that we should follow that procedure. In my opinion, even though I have spoken to Jeffrey Odoms and I appreciate him very much, that we need to have a open advertising of this this job and follow the same procedures with all the managers that we have here in town.
I agree with Commissioner Eriks. Every employee is equal for us. So, like, we had also have an issue with our assistant. So we let her go and reapply again. So everybody has to be the same way for hiring process and the background check.
I don't want to be accused. I don't want the town to be accused of unfair hiring processes. There might be other people out there with the same qualifications who wants to apply, and I just don't want us to tarnish our reputation again. So I think we should follow procedure, please.
We'll have it as a line item on the next meeting.
That'd be the next step, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, members of this, may I be recognized, Mr. Mayor?
Go ahead.
I understand the remarks have been made, but the commission can't take action on this tonight either way. So it will come up on the agenda on the 21st as a line item, as His Honor has indicated. I will present a full-scale sales pitch prior to that meeting and, of course, during that meeting. And so I'll reserve my continued praise for the work that Jeff has brought to this commission. But I will just say one thing. He's brought us a sense of calm and competence. Calm and competence. Something that's been sorely lacking for a very long time. And so I will make a strong sales pitch at the next meeting, see what you think about it. But if you have Babe Ruth in the lineup, I want to secure him before he gets traded to another team. So those are my remarks, and I'll make a full-scale pitch on the 21st. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Any more discussion? Nope. All right. 8.6. Consideration for possible approval of a reciprocal use agreement. Town Manager Lynch.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the commission, ladies and gentlemen. When I first became the town manager, I was working closely with Mayor Mohammed on our outstanding health fair that we have over at Preserve Park. And seeing the number of people that were going to be participating, I contacted the schools and said, we'd like to use some of your parking lot. Instead of automatically saying, we're your friendly neighbor, of course. They said, the bureaucracy is officially in place. Contact the superintendent of schools at their main office. They said, all we weren't going to do is let people park here. We'll keep an eye on the lot. We'll have police. We'll put up signs. Don't worry about it. Oh, no. Anyhow, so we communicated with the superintendent of schools, and they informed us that they were participating in what I call the Lawyers Relief Fund, which means that nobody parks on our property, not nobody, not know-how, not never, unless you have documents drafted by lawyers at $425 an hour, and this document is a result of that. It's frustrating as heck that we can't simply have good cooperation between government entities. With all due respect to the town attorney, I understand, but remember Shakespeare said, if you really want to solve the problems of the world first, let's kill all the lawyers. So, be that as it may, this document is in front of you, and I hope that you approve it. I hope that as the future goes forward, dealing with the school board, that they'll realize that the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, and we don't have to have the lawyers involved in everything. Be that as it may, it is on your, what I hope will be on your consent agenda.
25 pages later.
Yeah.
Discussion?
None.
None. All right. Yeah. 8.7, rectification agreement. Is that what we just did?
No, we haven't done that. That's a
No,
whole lot.
rectification of agreements executed by the town manager pursuant to temporary designated authority.
Before you get into discussion on the substance, may I address one particular item, Mr. Mayor?
Sure.
Yeah, there's a contract there for landscaping for a company called EDJ. I'm going to ask that that be deleted from consideration tonight. A couple of issues recently have come up that I want to review further as relates to that contract. So I'm going to ask if you can delete that. If I need to bring it back for ratification at a future meeting, I will do so, or I'll ask for an amendment by the 21st if necessary. But as you pass your ratification of agreements, and I don't know procedurally what the idea is. I don't know if a motion's needed or anything like that, but I'd like to have it deleted.
No, that could be withdrawn by administration.
All right.
Administration can put it on the agenda.
Consider it withdrawn, ladies and
Just that
gentlemen.
one particular item.
Yeah, just that one
The
item.
remainder of the item will stay.
Can we go through the other items?
So-
Because there's a lot of items and I'm really confused as to where the gas and diesel is. And also the generators.
Sorry. So am I withdrawing the whole item or just?
No.
Just that one agreement.
Okay, EDJ only.
Okay, I'm having a gray moment here because
So 8.7 has a gas and diesel contract, a CGIS contract, a generator, all the renewals
Oh, I
for
see it.
the,
Okay.
all the renewals for the CCNA list,
yeah.
Dana Safety Supplies, EDJ Landscaping. So I kind of wanted to.
EDJ is gone.
Okay, but the other stuff, so I have a question on like the gas and diesel contract and the generator. Is that for the generator at I-95 for that pump station, or is that for just
Madam
this
Mayor?
one here?
If you look out the window, you're,
Generator.
Just for this one here?
That's it.
Okay.
Generator.
Where are we at with the generator at I-95? Because I know we were
about the
still
pump station?
at the pump station.
Yeah,
Are we
that-
ever going to hook that up to a hardwired
It's operating right now.
on generator still?
Probably, yeah.
When is it going to not be on generator? Because somebody has to manually go over there.
Todd checks with them every single day. Todd Larson is our liaison as it relates to the pump station, and he's been providing me with regular reports. It's my understanding that every aspect that should be operational sometime towards the end of September. However, on a temporary basis, it is operational. So if we get the heavy rains that we had last June, we're okay.
Yeah, just that somebody has to run over there and go turn it on. That's I'm like, why isn't it automatic? When are they going to hardwire it? Because I know that it's been.
This is a Hallandale Beach question that Todd is pounding the doors over there every day. But I have great confidence that Todd has not let our interests be falling by the wayside. So that's the status.
Can we put some pressure? Can you call over to Joy and see if we
I'll
can
call
get
Joy.
some pressure
Yep.
to finalize this? Because if a hard rainstorm comes, are you really gonna send somebody out in the middle of the storm to go flip the generator on
Yep.
or put gas in it? The gas and diesel contract, that's for those tanks that's over
Yes.
at Waldy's property. Now, here's my question. What happens when Waldy starts building, since he has
Yeah.
his agreements kind of in the
Yeah,
pipeline?
we've talked to Mr. Polizzi about this. We're having an engineer give us a study as to what the permanent location should be. Waldy does not plan on requiring us to move those things for probably another 15-month period at a minimum.
Okay.
He has given us written permission. And we recently conferred with people from FEMA, and they contacted us and gave us, we're communicating verbally in my meeting with them, a gold star because of the fact they're one of the very few municipalities in Broward County that actually has independent fueling source during an emergency crisis. So pretty happy about it.
Okay.
May I ask Jeff a question? Jeff, I don't know if you can hear me, but wasn't that pump station over by I-95 already rigged so you could put a transportable generator on it? Okay, that's all I needed to know. Thank you.
That's the right guy to ask. That's the former service director over there when the lightning strike put that thing allegedly out of commission.
Anything else on that?
No, I mean, those were the contracts, right? Just gas and diesel, CGIS, the generator, the CCNA, was it all 12 or whatever? Because it was all 12?
Yeah.
Okay. And then whatever Dan's safety supplies, I'm assuming that's something for the police department.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, all right, those were my only questions on those contracts.
Okay. Anyone else?
No.
All right. Line item? No, that can go consent. That can go consent.
Most of that stuff can go on consent.
You want to drag your meeting out? Yes, sir.
Jet lag.
8-8. Approval resolution declaring surplus equipment and authorization disposal. Interim Director Odoms. Resolution 2025-028.
Yeah, that needs to be done.
Just want to get rid of all the stuff out there?
Yeah.
We're gonna put it on surplus website?
Yep.
Okay, sounds
That will
good.
be in-
Is the proper channels are followed on it?
Just one quick update on that item as a matter of procedure, not related to the specific equipment, but there was a recent change to state law with regards to the disposition of surplus property. Now, under this new statute, relatively new statute, which has always been on the books, but now includes municipalities, any property that is estimated to be in excess of $5,000 needs to be publicly advertised before it's sold or auctioned. So we'll work with the clerk's office just to provide that advertisement. Uniquely enough, it's actually a second-degree misdemeanor to violate that provision of the statute.
Do we still have a $40,000 door sitting out there?
Oh, miss enough.
Which I thought was pretty unique. It's
It'll be worth more than $5,000.
but each of these items will be anticipated to be worth more than $5,000. So we'll work with the clerk's office to ensure that advertising takes place. Thank you. That was a unique update.
Nothing have more value than the customer is prepared to pay.
That's correct.
All right. Consent.
The minutes you're gonna put on consent?
What's that?
The minutes you're gonna put on consent? 8.9.
I'm sorry, I can't.
8.9 you're gonna put on consent?
Yeah, 8.9 is consent approval minutes. I don't know why we have that on here. Discussion 9.
9.1.
9.1 discussion recognition feeding South Florida.
I was just asked, I'm sorry, excuse me, Mr. Mayor, I was asked to just add this item just so that you had the availability to read the recognition that Feeding South Florida sent to the town in appreciation for the contribution we made. That's all.
All
There's
right.
nothing to discuss really on it.
Okay, it's just the thank you letter. Okay. Everyone read the thank you letter?
I think I did.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Damn it, my daddy's calling.
9.2, considering approval for eliminating business tax receipts, BTRs. Town Manager Lynch,
Yeah,
2023-003, second reading.
ladies and gentlemen, this is probably the lightning rod for more positive press than we have gotten in this town for a long time, with the exception of Mayor Jacobs' resolution for us to provide the meals for the kids over at the schools. And the reason this has been such a lightning rod for so much positive press is the fact that no other community in the state is thinking of doing it. But more important than that, what it's meant to the business community. As you know, in the Friday letter I sent you, I talked about the excitement of new techs coming. This matter was a factor in the rejuvenation of the new techs plan. And you might say to yourself, well, wait a minute, it's a hospital. They don't pay that anyhow because they're nonprofit. New Techs is a for-profit corporation. So they are a beneficiary of this. Rick Chapels, who is associated with the Kelsey Group Rental Organization, not the Kelsey Group Bar, has been fielding questions and comments from hundreds of businesses as relates to the fabulous message that it sends. It's already been approved 5-0 on the first reading. And as we move forward on the 21st, as it relates to this, I'm anticipating a well-attended media fest as we will conduct a press conference to announce its ultimate passage. I actually wanted to do it ahead of time, but the town attorney has explained to me that having a press conference before you vote might be considered a violation of the Sunshine Law. I personally don't agree with that, but I've been deferring to lawyers all night, so I might as well keep consistent with that.
5-0.
I think you should take that advice.
We'll put this as a line item.
No, I'm sorry, Mayor, it requires a public hearing
Or
for
public
second reading.
hearing. Yep, line item.
Line item, yeah, thank you.
9.3, discussion for possible action on tax reimbursement.
Abatement referendum? That's
Yeah,
kind of a weird word.
for what is this for? Oh, for the Avalorum. Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got different tools that we can use to attract economic development. I would not deign to say to you, vote on the 21st for us using tax abatement, because tax abatement can have some controversial elements to it, because other entities other than this town are affected by tax abatement. However, you as a commission, if I had a proposal for a tax abatement plan for a great new business, let's say Nutex, the hospital, or General Motors wanted to build a plant or something, you don't have the power to approve yes or no a tax abatement plan. And the reason for that is, under Florida law, you have to put a measure in front of the voters and say, can we put tax abatement in our toolbox? And if the voters say, yes, you're allowed to use that as a tool on the condition that it goes back to the commission again for each particular tax abatement for you to vote on. So if we saw General Motors wanted to build a big plant, and the economic results would be astonishing to this community, and you all wanted to approve that tax abatement, you legally don't have the power to do it. The reason is we haven't had the voters say that you're allowed to even think about individual tax abatement projects. So I'm asking you on the 21st to vote so that we can send it off to the voters. Let them decide if it goes in your toolbox, but it's like a hammer or screwdriver. If you decide not to use it, that's fine. But the day may come when it's important for you to have the opportunity to use it, and gosh darn it, you don't have the power to do it. So all I'm asking you to do is ask the voters to give you the power to consider individual applications. Now you can't consider any application whatsoever. And I want to use this as an opportunity to introduce our business relations manager. Joe Lacayo is sitting out there, and he has been meeting with the individual businesses. He's been involved in the BTR discussion. Also, our applicant advocate, Marisol Zayas, and they are revolutionizing the relationship between our local government and our businesses. And this is just one more step where we have another tool, because the folks in this community that are conducting the businesses have told us that we have a reputation for being slow on processing permits, and that right up there behind the mayor, the small town that means big business.
Yeah, we
But
need
it
to
might
live-
read in parentheses, but it's otherwise a pain in the butt to do business in.
Near
And-
impossible to do business sometimes in this town.
Well, in any case. So all I'm asking you to do is, I don't want to sell you on the idea of tax abatement, good or bad. I just want to sell you on the concept of empowering yourselves to consider individual tax abatement concepts if they come forward. I don't know if we'll bring one of those forward, but you'll give us the opportunity to think about it.
What election are you trying to get this on?
May I speak to that? I know
Yeah, because it's two readings. It's going to be here.
And keep in mind, your city manager is often the gas, and I'm often the brakes.
Right.
So, on this particular item, just a couple of observations, as they've indicated.
Object to being considered gas, by the way.
So, as this item does require a referendum, the manager and Mr. Lacayo had asked our office earlier in the summer what options the town had with regards to tax abatement opportunities to entice and lure businesses into the community. There is an option under Florida law, and as the manager says, it does require a referendum. This ordinance is a framework to put an item on a future ballot. You'll notice in the ordinance in the backup, it's blank as to the date. A couple reasons for that. One, the Broward County Supervisor of Elections has made very clear to municipalities that we're welcome to have ballot access whenever we want during a calendar year, so long as it's in March or November. They won't entertain any municipal elections at any time other than March or in November. There's currently not an election in March of 2026 in Pembroke Park. The next election really that we already have ballots printed for the town would be November of 2026. We can have a special election in March 2026. It'll likely be at a higher cost. With regards to what that cost would ultimately be, it's based on the number of registered voters. The supervisor has a formula to determine that cost. But again, when there's not an election otherwise in the town typically picks up the entire freight of that cost to conduct the election. In November, I imagine it would be quite a bit less. Again, that puts this out a little over a year. So you're laying the framework for future planning for the town. If it's the commission's intent to move forward, we can call a special election in March 2026. Again, we would be responsible for that cost. Or we could put this on the ballot in November of 2026. There would be a cost, but it'd be a lesser cost because we don't have elections at that time either. But there are ballots in the town for the presidential primary.
Well, going along with that, I understand summer's been pretty busy with Mr. Lynch and myself. And if you recall, the commission did ask for an audit of our charter, so we can have that presented. If we just stick with the November, it gives us time to have a couple items for November, and we're not rushed like we were last time.
There's plenty of time.
Plenty of time
Right.
to get it together and put it so it's correct, the correct verbiage.
Yeah, and the only other comment on this item I would offer is you'll notice in the ordinance there is a ballot title and there's a ballot question, what you would actually see when you go into the voting booth. We did not write that. This is one of the unique instances where state law in the statute includes specific language that has to be placed on the ballot.
Okay.
So you'll see a reference to the Constitution. You'll see a reference to tax exemption programs. That's language taken directly out of the Florida statutes, plugged into our ordinance. And if this were to be adopted, it would be on the ballot then again, presumably in November of next year.
Okay. Discussion?
No, I agree with the attorney.
Discussion?
No, we used to do that before the abatements. We did that for the whole Seneca Industrial Park for 10 years. So
Yeah.
I thought we would have had a mechanism in place to do that since we were doing that. And there's still an agreement with Channel 10 for it, even though Channel 10 hasn't requested it.
I can't speak to what's occurred in the past. I just
Make this a line item.
Yeah. We will, with the permission of the commission, just add a November date to the ordinance.
All right. 9.4, discussion possible action on utilization of vacant lot behind Channel 10. Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins.
Yeah, this lot that's up in behind Channel 10 was basically given to us by a contractor who actually was doing the filling in of the lake where Amazon and all that is now. The deal was basically with the town to, once the lake was filled in, and then of course the lot should have gone back to the town, the utilization of the lot. But the contractor was using it until the lake was filled in. Well, that was 5 years ago when the lake got filled in. But the contractor is still sitting on it. But he also has some work in town where he's going to be doing some work next door here. The gentleman is, as far as I can tell, is not a builder. He does all the groundwork. He does what we call site work. So he is looking forwards to trying to use the lot, continuing to use the lot. The fact that we didn't get any kind of restitution for the last 5 years, I'm not really looking to go back and dig out anything from him, but I think we should have an agreement between the town and the contractor, just a new agreement with make sure that there's insurance on the lot, make sure that we're covered no matter what happens on that lot, because if there's an accident over there, we don't want the town to be responsible of. And the other option is we can actually just give them a 90-day notice to beat feet, and we can use the lot for ourselves. Now, in your little white folder that I've handed you, I showed you a Quonset hut-looking storage building that we could probably put a couple over there and put all of our heavy-duty, brand-new $100,000 trucks in and all that, and it would give us a good place to keep them out of harm's way. And so I guess I'm just looking for some input on how everybody feels about that.
Well, we've had discussion over the last 6 years, Ashura and myself and the commissioners, over utilization of that lot for when time comes. I believe Ashura wanted a new town hall built over there. There's a lot of issues when it comes to access in and out, egress from that location due to it being behind Channel 10, private road. I believe there is an agreement where we do have a road that comes in and out through the private community, warehouse community.
It comes out. It doesn't come off of Howlandale. It comes off
Where
of
that corner-
32nd or whatever that is, 40.
Right.
So there is something that gives us access to it. I brought forward, the thing about Pembroke Park is in the winter months, we have a lot of visitors here that are temporary residents that come into town. And we have nothing to keep them here. They go and spend money everywhere else other than Pembroke Park. It's a cute little town, but there's nothing here. We have our Checkers over here is the top producing Checkers in Broward County because it's the only fast food around. You know, unless you're up on Pembroke, there's a Wendy's and there's the Subway, but the only real fast food we have in town is that Checkers. There's nothing to keep people here in the town. So I've worked with our grant writer, I've worked with every public works director we had except for Aleem on coming up with ideas for this and utilization of this. If you ever when you're up in Orlando, take a little detour for a day while you're up there next week. Next week, while you're up there, go look at their little container park. It's a cute little park that they built. It's got a little stage. It's something that keeps people in the community. It's some sources, little things like that. When you're up there at the league, the best part of the league is the things you get to see while we're up there. I believe there's over 800 vendors that will be there. So we have so much opportunity to do with this, but we need something to keep people in our town, something to give back to our community. Our park
I
is
agree,
beautiful.
but this lot is very small.
It's 2.5 acres.
Yeah,
It's 2.5 acres. So here's the thing: our park is beautiful. Read the reviews online. There's nothing to do there. That's the thing. Park's gorgeous. There's nothing to do there. We put forward everything to make that park something, but there's no momentum. For 2 years, there's been no momentum on developing that park, getting that splash pad in, redoing the playground. I mean, that playground got destroyed when I first moved here. When I first met Ashura in 2016, I believe it was Hurricane Matthew, tore it out in 2016, and our playground got destroyed because the awnings got destroyed, and they never put the awnings back up. But the insurance company paid. We got the 50,000 whatever, but they never put the awnings back up, and it destroyed our playground. So, like I've told you guys many times before, I'm to the point I take my kids to another park to play because our play equipment in our own town is not suitable to play
Well,
on.
then that's another option that we could sell the lot, and use the money to improve our park.
That we could do too. We could sell that to get that lot developed too. There's so many options on the table that we can do with this lot that we've had discussions for 6 years. We've been talking about this.
Right. So
there's-
the thing I'm trying to get at is what decision do we give the developer when he wants to use it?
he wants to buy
keep
it.
using it, I should say.
Yeah, the developer, I believe they donated the land. to
They
us.
donated
did
it to us for
donate
a
it.
government purpose.
Yeah.
So there's a restriction.
There was a reason for it, though. But
It was for a government purpose.
Yes.
That's what it was. And so we have that. I just, at the same time, he's given back to the community quite a bit, during his time. So if he's utilizing it to help continue the community, it's a win-win for us all the way around. But
Same guy who we have the pumps with right now next door.
Oh, we can lease it to him for $1.
I mean,
whatever,
yeah,
but-
there's
But we're using his lot right now for our gas tanks,
yeah.
Okay.
and we're using it for.
You see what I mean? There's
Isn't he the developer for this lot?
yes, he
Yes,
is.
same
He owns
person.
that whole.
He owns
7
it, or he's
acres.
the developer?
He owns the 7
gonna
acres over
develop.
there.
He owns it.
So
May I suggest we have a roundtable for these issues with the parks so we can speak more freely, like we did a couple of months ago. That would be a good forum for discussing the parks because I really believe that we should have a splash pad system.
well, the thing is, we're required now to do it. We were 30 years non-compliant with the park. We went to the state and said we're going to do this. We're going to do this, and we're going to do this to get out of trouble with the state. Thing is for 2 years,
Let's sit down and
done
do
nothing.
it.
So,
Sit down and do it.
Mayor,
but
can
we
I-
had a round table for it.
May I speak? I'm sorry. Go ahead. I just have.
Can I just give a little update? So when we had that charrette a couple months ago, we asked Kevin to come up with a master plan. I kind of gave him the framework for it, but because Kevin has not had any time off, he doesn't have an assistant. He needs help in the parks in order to sit down and kind of come up with a master plan. We gave him the preliminary, we gave him the direction, we had community input people filled out those questionnaires. You guys didn't finish filling out those questionnaires. I'm just giving y'all the evil eye on
What
that.
question?
The questionnaires I had for the park so that we can give all of that to him to basically come up with a master plan. Until we do that, we're kind of like sitting behind the 8 ball. You didn't see my questionnaire, my big stack of papers that wasn't numbered that y'all kindly mentioned that it wasn't numbered.
No, I didn't have a stack of papers.
Okay, so there were questionnaires that basically asked, what would you guys like to see and everything like that. Either we're going to use one of our CCNA engineers and not Betancourt because we can't afford Betancourt, but we're either going to use one of our engineers or we're going to use Kevin to come up with the master plan. Nobody can move forward until we have that master plan on what we're doing. And so we're kind of like literally like, okay, is Kevin going to do it? Because direction was given at that charrette for Kevin to do it. But Kevin's told me from the time he came into the city, he's only had 7 Sundays off and he's been working like nonstop and he's asked for an assistant. He says he doesn't have a problem doing it because he specializes in this kind of stuff. He's like an engineer and he doesn't have a problem doing it because he's there every day and he knows what the community is looking for the parks and everything else. But it's either we're going to have to give him some time off to not be in the garden, or we're going to have to get him an assistant, or we're going to have to use one of the engineers from our CCNA list. So we
need
have to
him
kind of pick
involved
one.
in the roundtable. He definitely need to be present so we can hear his input.
Well, he's going to tell you, like, I need time off to put something together. Like, he said that. Because
Let's
May I?
direct David to figure something out there. Maybe have, I don't know what Public Works staff situation right now, but maybe one of them can assist him.
Yeah, I'll be happy to get together with Kevin. We've had some preliminary discussions that followed Mayor Mohammed's charrette, and of course Jeff is relatively new to the scene, but no, this has anything to do with item 9.4.
No, it doesn't.
Which is
getting back to the lot. Maybe we could, in order to raise money for do all these things that we want to do down in this nice park that we have across the street here. Maybe we possibly could just sell the lot.
It was donated to us for government purposes, so we need to
That
figure out
would
what
be a government purpose, wouldn't it? I mean, if we take the money and
Now you're talking like
better
an
our
attorney.
community.
Just if I could, just a couple of observations. Commissioner Hotchkiss and I have spent a bit of time over the summer sort of digging into some of the history here, and albeit neither he nor I have the firsthand history that Commissioner Mohammed and the mayor have. What we've learned through the course of some of our review is there's no lease, there's no license agreement, there's no document that we've been able to locate that gives West Wind Contracting any right to store their equipment on public property. Now, in 2015, the commission adopted a resolution. Included within that resolution was the approval of a hold harmless agreement. And there is a hold harmless agreement between the town and West Wind for the benefit of the town that provides for indemnification in the event that anything were to occur as a result of West Wind's storage of equipment on the property. Again, a hold harmless agreement is not a lease. It's not a license, doesn't convey any property right, but it does indemnify the town and it does help from a liability perspective. So that's a good thing that document exists. But that document, interestingly enough, it was approved in 2015. It wasn't signed by the town until 2022 by Mayor Jacobs at the time. Now, the agreement itself also seems to contemplate use of that property by West Wind to facilitate the Lakeville project. The Lakeville project, we've had Mr. Lewis look into some of the building records as it relates to that, was completed in 2014-15, right around the same time that the agreement was entered into. So Commissioner Hotchkiss and I were both a little unclear as to why a hold harmless agreement in 2015 would have contemplated work that was either already done or near done right around that time. So there were a couple pieces to the puzzle that weren't quite lining up as it relates to that. The commissioner raises a good point insofar as if we have a private property owner that's utilizing public property, that's okay. I mean, that's, in and of itself, that on its face is not an issue. Having the hold harmless agreement is helpful from a liability perspective, but I would suggest there should be some agreement, whether, again, it's a license or a lease or some legal document that gives that private property the right of access and the right of use to the town's property for that purpose, whether it's for $1 a year or for some fair market value. Whatever it is, I would just suggest that we may at some point want to memorialize that relationship so it's a little better defined as to what the town's rights are with regards to the property and with what our tenant or licensee's rights are. Because again, my understanding is he did donate the property to the town for a public purpose, which could mean a lot of things. But the fact that we have a private property owner using public property without any legal basis to do so, other than some prior resolution and a hold harmless agreement, does create a little bit of a legal gap as it relates to that property right. So I just want to bring that to the commission's attention.
How much longer was he planning on using the property?
He wanted to use it for doing this lot work over here also. So that we could talk years.
Well, let's hope that doesn't take years to build this property up.
Well, I think it will.
It is Pembroke Park, so.
No, I think it's going to, I think.
Still wanted to add?
So early in the morning, I spoke to Kevin for the update for the parks, which is we have a roundtable last when we had a conversation. So he already had prepared a lot of ideas. So I told him just I'm gonna have again tomorrow appointment with him. So I let him know, like, just make a presentation so we can have another round meeting and all commissioners can see like what we can do for the parks. So he told me he has planning to do a lot of things, but he does not know a lot of the information for the park, like funding, how much we have and everything. So when we make an arrangement for the next round meeting, so it will be easiest for him to decide what to do for this project.
Are you two trying to, both of you? 9 o'clock, the meeting's done by 9, so we got to get through this and be out of here. You got to what?
Go. You can have rest.
What? Well, let's take a 5-minute break. Just ask.
Did we actually get any direction? Did we get any direction on the lot, what we're going to do?
Again,
I think we did. The town manager ran off, and I wanted
well,
to.
the town took a point of personal. The manager took a point of personal privilege. I suspect he'll be back momentarily. And again,
I would think that if we take the attorney's advice and get some sort of legal document and get
annual renewal on it,
something like that, with an annual 6 month or whatever.
Annual renewal.
And again, we would probably do something with less formality than a lease. I mean, we'd probably put together a simple license agreement just to give him some of the rights, maybe reaffirm the indemnification
You
from
need director
2015.
vote on.
I would take that as consensus. We will work on a license agreement. We'll work with Mr. Palizzi.
Direction.
Thank you.
Okay, now we are going to take a 5-minute recess. All right, start it. Time's now 8:10, and we're back. 9.5, discussion and direction regarding implication of the Narcan distribution plan. Acting Clerk Commissioner Morissette.
As you all know, that we have had a opioid crisis in America, and there was a settlement with, I believe the company was called Purdue, and that have resulted in access to Narcan. And I know our police and rescue carry this in their cars, but it is actually right now my assistant is looking into what minimum amounts we have to take, but it's free for the city. And I'm suggesting that we have it both in the police department for handout and also at the front desk and at the fire station, so that it is easy accessible for people. And I would like to also make an event where we train people how to use it so they're familiar with the product. And then we can hand out maybe printed bags with the Narcan kit in it to the residents, because you can carry it in your car, you can have it at home. If we just save one life, it should be worth it, and there's no cost to the city. So I hope you can agree that we go ahead with it.
Are you spearheading this?
Yes, I have more information about it.
Okay. You putting it together for everyone?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Sounds good.
That's all I have.
Anything, just direction on that?
No, we'll cooperate. We've put other programs together before with this commissioner, and I'm sure this will be a success.
All right.
Yeah, it's not costing us anything. There's no expense.
Sounds good. 9.6, Mr. Odoms. This is the Federal Administration in Inspection Quiet Zones Compliance for Hollandale Beach Boulevard Crossing. We're going to come forward and speak about this real quick. Gist of it, we are responsible for maintaining and updating the gates for the railroad crossings. And this keeps them from blasting their horns coming through our town, which is right behind all three of our homes. So, go ahead, sir.
Your mic's not on, Jeff.
Apologies, Jeff Odoms, Acting Public Works Director. So it's come to our attention, we had a recent inspection, and that inspection has shown that the original application that was put in by the town some years ago required a 4-gate exchange be at that corner. At the time the application was put in, Racetrack had not yet been developed, so the application was temporarily or preliminarily approved. With Racetrack being added, we have to add a gate on the west side of that north side of the road at Hollandale Beach Boulevard. Additional to that, markings and signage needs to be updated and maintained. All of this in an effort to keep the quiet zone opportunity that the town has. What's before you this evening for discussion is if we choose not to do that work, which it is the commission's opportunity to choose, we may lose the quiet zone. And so I brought it forward for discussion to get direction as to how you would like me to proceed.
Yeah, there's been an awful lot of accidents, with the Bright Line and all the trains and stuff. I just think we have to have it. I don't see any way around it. It's a safety issue, safety for the public, and I think we just need to do it. So whatever it takes.
This is two parts. One, we can say it's on their responsibility and we don't fund it and we lose the quiet zone, which means when they come blasting through your community, my community,
Horns
they're
are
blasting the horn.
Yeah.
And Assure is going to hear it in her house over here. So on the other side of town.
But
the
but what's
flip side of
the-
it is we fund it and then we keep the quiet zone. So
Okay. The problem is with this is if there are pedestrians on the tracks, I don't think they have but a choice to use their horns. And I don't feel that they're doing it that often.
This isn't for emergencies. This is a quiet zone. There's something with the railroad where they have to last so long before crossing intersections. There's an agreement in place which restricts them from doing that with certain municipalities, agreements that they make over the years with the crossing, the certain gate systems and whatnot. How much is this?
My preliminary assessment of costs, it's going to be relatively expensive. I want to say at least 200 to 300.
About 300,000 is what
But
I
I'm going to
thought.
have to get a vendor
Okay.
to get all of the work looked at, get an appropriate cost to bring back for consideration.
So what you're doing is if we fund and we update these gates for the town, we keep the peace and quiet in the community. Doesn't mean that they're not going to blast the horn going through when there's an emergency situation. It doesn't stop that from happening. But what it does is it keeps your residents happy because they start blasting the horns. You know who's knocking on your door at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
So
Do we have any options for any kind of grant information or anything like that? Have we seen anything out there for that?
Not for grants right now, sir.
Nothing
I
for
can continue to look for it, but I haven't seen anything right now.
Okay.
did you want this as just a consent for approval to go forward or,
Consent, yeah.
yeah, consent for this? Everyone all right with that?
Yeah, absolutely. As part of the quiet zone, I noticed that we are the only town that doesn't have a noise wall. I don't know why they just skipped Pembroke Park and then everybody else have a noise wall.
We had to fight for that noise wall.
Eric, we
Emma
had-
fought for that noise wall like tooth and nail, and she was the one who established the quiet zone because at 2:05 they would blow their horn, at 3:05 they would blow their horn, at 4:05 they would blow their horn.
This is
You would
There's
hear it
also-
all the way over here.
This is no joke. The railroad treats municipalities like we're garbage and we could do nothing. We had a piece of equipment that had a full-blown tree growing out of it, and Pembroke Park was nothing more than a dumping ground for the railroad. Railroad ties equipment, that whole area on Hollandale Beach Boulevard, north and south of the tracks there. And during my last time as mayor, I fought to get that area cleaned up with the railroad. It was not a simple process to get them in and clean up their mess. So, this is something though that the railroad isn't easy to work with. We got this in place. It's something we don't want to lose. I think it's in the best interest of our residents to
It is
keep it.
absolutely. What I'm arguing for is better protection because I think the railroad is a minor nuisance when it comes to noise compared to the highway, and they're running parallel. And I'm just wondering why the DOT never extended the sound barrier to our town. They just skipped Pembroke Park and then continued
Yep,
down
we
south
have it.
and north.
Pembroke Park is the
We have
redheaded
it.
stepchild of Broward County. Just
I
accept it
see
as that.
that. I see
And
that.
we've had to fight for everything. Nothing is given to us.
I would love to have a noise wall.
Okay, we'll look into it. If you look back into our previous minutes and stuff, you'll find it when Emma did it, because she got it done from Hollandale to Ives Dairy. So she spearheaded that, so you could spearhead it from,
If you give me the opportunity,
Pembroke.
if you give me the opportunity when I get to the MPO, I'll see what they can come up with, see if they have any kind of solutions.
most of it was done through FDOT though.
I'm sorry?
Most of it
FDOT?
was done through FDOT, so if,
FDOT?
Cynthia, can you look for the
Well, they
minutes
have
for
connections there.
for the sound wall? And I know Emma spearheaded it, it was a battle.
I believe you.
Matter of fact, if you go up any of the railroad lines, I mean, if you go up Dixie Highway, you see piles and piles of their stuff just thrown on the sides of the roads. They don't
care.
They don't care. Yeah.
Nope, they don't. And trying to get them to be held accountable is very difficult.
Yeah.
So I actually went to the point of threatening to put in toll stations, automated toll stations in the town, and start charging them as they come through. So, but they weren't a fan of that either. So
It's a nationwide problem. It's
It is.
nationwide. They don't care anywhere.
it is. So, but we came up with the solution. We got it cleaned up. That was a first step. So. We tried to rebuild that relationship with the railroad. I think we have a good relationship with them right now. We may be able to push it farther, pull the minutes, find out what you can on it, and we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, I wish for a wall.
All right, 9-7, discussion.
Beg your pardon, Mayor?
Yeah.
Just to let you know the next steps in this process.
Hold on, guys.
Just to let you know the next step in this process would be for me to respond by 30 days of the notification that I originally received of the intent So if it's our intent, it'll be before that next meeting.
Since we have
I
it
will
on
let them
consent,
know.
can we give him direction then?
If there's a deadline, I'd rather not miss that deadline.
Okay, just wanted to.
Is that right with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's fine. We'll give you direction and put that on the consent agenda.
Thank you,
please.
Jeff.
Thank you.
Thank you. 9.7, discussion and direction, workforce and operational audit for staffing optimization. Commissioner Mohammed.
Okay, so I'm asking for the commission to do an audit to identify, to bring in an auditor to come in to identify the workforce staffing and to see where the deficiencies are, where the redundancies are, and to basically adjust and evaluate job functions, job descriptions, and make sure that we're meeting the requirements of the community and move people around to where they better fit. So that way we're not wasting people's times and money.
Aren't our department heads the better ones to understand who they need and who they don't need?
We currently have a lot of staffing, and there are things that we're still falling through the pipelines that aren't being addressed. So it would behoove us to bring in somebody. Bradley has worked in the past on doing some of this, and he can actually spearhead some of this himself, which is our HR department.
So I looked over this earlier before I came in today, and what I was thinking was we have a couple situations here. One, we have a new HR director who's there he is. Sorry, I lost you for a second. Very well skilled in this department. We also have a very well skilled town manager who really oversees the staffing needs of the town. And then you have, I'm going to throw myself in here, who understands staffing needs because I do it with my businesses, and not just my businesses with the airline. One of the key problems I've seen since I've been here is we've been so understaffed. Not just understaffed, but we've had the wrong staffing in place for a very long time. We've also been very understaffed, so projects couldn't get completed. We had directors farming out their job responsibilities and having our contractors do their job, and they were paying it under a certain dollar amount, so it didn't come to the commission's attention. And that happened for almost a year and a half. We had people in public works that shouldn't have been in public works, that was not their skill set by any means whatsoever, but we were stuck with that person for a year. There's been so many personnel issues with staffing, but when it comes to staffing, the commissioner is not responsible for staff. That is the town manager's position. There is a divide between the directors and the commission. That's who we're responsible for. Staff is who the manager and our HR department's responsible for. I know, actually, because I've been speaking with our HR department. I'm just going to call you our HR department for now. Are redoing our employee manual. It hadn't been done since '97. We got it done in 20, was it? Was that the first one Yolanda did?
Well,
21.
OL did it, and then Yolanda finalized it in 2020, the end of 2020, like December 2020.
Right. And then Babette tried to totally scrap the whole thing and make a mess of it. But we currently have, our HR director is going through our employee handbook and updating everything, which includes a lot of this stuff. We also have independent pay study being done for all the positions that.
It's completed.
It's completed. I just got to meet with the town manager, and it will be on the next workshop for discussion. And then next month, we'll have it on the workshop for discussion. We'll go forward. So a lot of this stuff that you have on here,
It can be done internally.
in my
That's why I
in
said
my
that,
opinion,
Brad,
I don't
but we
think
just
we
need to
need to
give them
go
direction.
out for any of this, because all of it can be done internally. You know, I honestly like what's going on with the business development, and it's great because the business owners that I communicate with often, I call a lot, are actually enjoying the fact that we now have some resources available to them where they've never had that before. We have good things going. I think if we could just give direction to the, in my opinion, give direction to the town manager to make sure this continues the way it is. I don't really feel that we need to spend the money for a consultant or, you know, have someone outside do this.
No, we don't. We
So-
Bradley can do it. We just need to give him direction.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Or
With giving direction to our
I
current.
believe so too. I
started-
don't think we need to
Okay
go
with that?
outside.
No, it's a good idea to
Yeah.
do what you are
I
proposing,
like
but I
it.
think we're already in the process of doing this in-house. and I
Yeah, a
think
lot of this
Our
is being
manager's
done,
on
so-
top of this.
Kristen was supposed to do it originally, and she was also supposed to be offering training to our employees as well, and that didn't happen. So that's why I wanted it brought up on the dais and to give formal direction to our HR
Yeah,
director.
it's
now
good to discuss this. It's very good
Yeah.
to discuss.
Well, we
but I
had the wrong
believe,
people.
Time manager's
Yeah.
on.
we had the wrong people in place. Now we have the right people in place.
Hey,
So,
we never had a better human resource department. I mean, I think.
So we're fine with direction that we don't
Direction.
need to vote.
Bradley? No?
Yes.
Bradley, that's your direction, bud. All you. Enjoy. All right.
Who are you?
We got, I told the chief we'd be out of here by 9, so
You got 34 minutes.
that
Let's
clock's
go.
off. So,
Yeah, 34 minutes. Let's go.
all right, let's get this.
All
done.
it is yours.
Review responsibilities, expectations for elected officials
wait.
serving. Oh wait, 9.
9.8.
I missed it. 9.8. Discussion for possible action to implement Pembroke Park Paper Reduction Act and authorize implementation of a town-wide paper reduction initiatives. So when we rebuilt the building department, we moved to make it as paperless as we possibly could. Huge expenses in every industry is ink and paper. It cost us a lot. Not only that, our copy machines, we're on a contract with them. They cost us a lot for use. I just want the town to keep moving forward to be paperless as much as possible. Now, we are a government entity. There is required paper documents per the state, per the county, per the feds. There's certain things we can't get away with paper. I just want to see us being very proactive in reducing the amount of paper that we use when it comes to anything with the town. Like I said, we got to a point in the building department where, we bought, I don't remember how much that print or scanner was, 10 grand or something.
Yeah,
It was expensive.
ridiculous
to
amount.
scan all the blueprints and everything in to keep the paperless going and keep things digitized. So that's just direction I want to pass on to the staff. I don't think it's anything that needs voted on, but to the manager to those
Speaking,
processes in place.
speaking of that, what happened with all that? Did we ever get the stuff? Is it scanned? Do we have all the records now?
Cynthia's sent out
Cynthia
a whole
can
bunch of
tell you.
stuff out to be scanned recently. She's working on it.
They've picked up the majority of. Sorry, they've picked up the majority of the documents. I think we only have the third floor now, which is all building, and I have to call them to come and pick that up. But everything's out for scanning.
How long do we wait before we get results back when they give us?
They already have. They've already started sending us things. They've scanned a lot of the barrels, the big surveys. Those are scanned. Some of the HR files are already scanned. They've scanned quite a bit already.
Okay.
Okay, and pretty soon, huh?
We have access to it easily.
Yes, I would have to give you access to Laserfish, but yes, all of that will be in Laserfish.
Okay. Thank you.
Progress right there.
Yeah, I like to comment a little bit here on this because I come from Denmark, as you probably already have heard, and we started implementing like this in the 90s. It started with a company called Oticon. You probably know them if you're using a hearing aid. And they started a paperless administration. They had a incoming post division that scanned everything and then electronically sent it to everybody. And the last 25 years, the whole government administration of Denmark has been paperless. You cannot get a piece of paper out of the Danish government, nowhere. Not a tax document, nothing. Everything is electronic. And nobody had the excuse saying, I don't know how to use a computer.
The county
because
still requires paper.
Don't be lying.
The feds still do. There are certain requirements where we still have to do paper, but I would like to see us push to where we can get some kind of eco award, of going that direction.
No, you're absolutely right, and we can go a lot further than you think.
And when
can lead.
when you're at the league up there, like I said, there's 800 vendors or so up there, maybe 1,000 vendors up there. on that do different things that help do things like this, make us eco-friendly, you know, so.
It's a right track. I think nobody's going to object to it.
Anyone's objecting to it?
No,
No, I'd like to see more of our applications and stuff, paperless too. We can start working on that,
What am
with
I
the
gonna
new
do?
system
Pick
too.
Piles I
How? What,
I
your
sell
piles?
it to a mill?
Whose piles?
Permission to sell it to a mill?
her, she has them, sends it out to that company.
I was thinking of starting a little,
Town manager direction.
Received.
I keep them in check here.
Yeah.
Just
All right,
one more
moving on.
all right,
Next thing we'll all be eating sausage in Holland or someplace.
Here we go. It's gonna get deep. We got 30 minutes, so 9-9. Review responsibilities and expectations of elected officials serving the town of Pembroke Park. Mayor Jacobs. Guys, this is just the email that I sent you on our responsibilities as commissioners and what we need to do. This was our first meeting back after the summer. It's our first workshop. I understand no one's really prepared to present, but I wanted you to see when we get to department reports, I really want to see the reports coming from the commissioners. Instead of leaning on the directors and department heads, you need to be working with them and understand there are questions that we're going to have to utilize them for, but we need to be deeply involved in what is going on here because we're the ones who make this town go forward.
This is
You know, so-
contradicting something you told us about a month ago.
What's that?
You told us not to get so involved with it.
Not staff. Staff is completely
staff.
different. You are not
Oh,
allowed to
staff.
direct staff.
I don't direct staff.
Directors and department heads you can work with, but staff is the town manager. The town manager oversees staff, the commission oversees directors and department heads. So work with your directors and department heads, you work with finance and get up to speed on where we're at so you can answer the questions when we come to the next meeting, or next workshop.
yeah, I both agree and disagree with you because I believe that the heads of departments are the experts here, and no, we could make a presentation of every month. We need to get it from the very same people that know more about these things than we do. So we're more an oversight than an expert in that division. And I believe that we should keep the old system where we have the heads of the departments doing the presentation.
Well, you
and
should
then-
read through the charter
and ask them questions when necessary.
read through the charter and understand your positions. We'll have that discussion at the next workshop.
I'm fully aware of my oversight, but I believe that the heads of department are more qualified to do the reports than I am, and ever will be.
I don't think there's anything in the charter. Do you know of anything in the charter that says we have to give the mayor a report?
The charter
7.
speaks to being in charge of various departments, does not define what that charge includes. Does not provide for reports per se, does not provide for the role and responsibility of each commissioner serving in charge of various departments in the town.
Well,
And I never asked
until
for
it does,
a
you probably
full
won't be
report.
getting one from me then.
So
I believe the idea is good, but the old system worked very well.
Yeah, I actually enjoy getting my heads come up here and tell us exactly what's going on.
Me too,
Because they're
and-
more thorough than we are, because we're only here now and then.
And you guys understand, you're the ones going out getting the resources for the town. You need to be up to speed on everything that's going on. That's the full intent of this, is to get you guys active and involved on what is going on. You guys need to be bringing in the resources for the town. That's what you're elected to do, is be the town's panhandlers. You're not standing on the street corner with the sign. I stood on the state capitol with the sign, and it worked, oddly. So, but you're out and going to be bringing in resources to the town, and you need to have a working knowledge of how everything goes. You don't need to know how a lift station works to the detail I had to learn it.
Well, we do.
You just need to know how it pumps stuff up and it flows back down, and it moves it to another county or another city, and we pay for it. So you just kind of know the basics of how things work, where we're at on the projects, where we're at to completion of projects, timelines, you know. Can anyone up here tell me a timeline on when we're about to complete the next project we have going on?
Well, nobody can because the contractors are not there yet. I mean, the contractors we have for like 25th Street, they're just in the process of getting ready and getting the labor force in and dig holes. They don't even know
Sure. When did we start 25th Street project?
Oh, that's years ago.
Exactly. That's the problem. If no one's being on top of it, these things fall back for years. And that's what I'm trying to get you guys to do, is be responsible and be involved.
Yeah.
Be involved with the departments, be involved, know what's going on, and be able to answer the questions when people come forward. Your wives are the only residents we have here tonight.
Elba's here. Listen, I partly agree with you, but on the other hand, there are no better experts than the heads of departments.
I understand that.
Especially if you want to elaborate with special questions, the commissioner will not have the insight to answer them correctly. We'll have to refer back to the heads of department.
Exactly.
So let me just ask, so what I'm getting from this is you're not willing to put in the work to be able to answer the questions when they come forward?
Oh, yes,
Is that what
I
you're saying?
am. And I do communicate a lot with the heads of department, and I do make it my mission to talk to as many heads of department to know what the heck is going on, but I do not interfere in what they're doing. They are the experts. I am an elected official. But I like to know what's going on because citizens comes up to me and ask me things, and then I know what's going on, or can refer them to the right person.
Yeah, if we don't
Proving my point exactly.
if we don't know the answers, we can refer them to our department heads who do know the answers.
And I do that on a constant basis.
Okay. Well, just be prepared for the next workshop.
I'm
10
prepared right now.
10.9, interference with town staff. Over the summer, I was told commissioners are directing town staff. I brought this up many times over. Guys, as commissioners, you cannot give town staff direction. The only ones that can give the town staff direction is the town manager. So when it comes to directors and department heads, those are your guys' go-to for everything when it comes to the town. I'm not going to point any fingers. I'm not going to say any more on it. We've had this discussion many times, but I wanted to bring it up again. Please do not direct town staff. You will get yourself in a lot of trouble by doing so. All right? That's all I had to say on that. 9/11, discussion possible action regarding BSO fire department contract and leadership. Ashura, when it comes to the fire department, it's a lot of contracts. It's a lot of your area. And in my email, believe you guys saw, I thought it would be a good idea to separate the police and fire responsibilities, put Ashura as the fire commissioner in this process so she can. So I know you have a law degree, got to use it. You can read through the contracts, you understand the contracts, and if not, you have another one right there and another one right there to help you out along the way. But dividing up the responsibilities up here, we haven't had someone. What's that? What's that? It's okay. You're still a commissioner.
I'm not trying to get
You're not getting in trouble. You're doing your
You would not be practicing law.
your elected position up here.
It's a
so
public official.
I just
Public
think
officials liability coverage.
we haven't. We haven't had
we do.
anybody here since we've been here really reviewing contracts and making sure we're good on the contracts. Now,
We were supposed to
That's
hire
what we have an attorney
No,
for.
we were supposed to hire a contract administrator.
We were.
We've been talking about this for years, and it's
For
been kicking.
years.
It's been getting kicked down the road off and on for how many years? It's in Wingo's report as well.
Yep.
Because there are
2018.
there have been a lot of deficiencies in folks following up with the contracts. Public Works was responsible at one point for overseeing their contracts, like waste management, and making sure that, well, it wasn't waste management, it was all service, making sure that we were getting the proper tipping fees, things like that. And there needs to be a full-time person here that's overseeing our contracts and making sure that we're getting what we're paying for and we're getting our remittances correctly.
did you guys just hear all that? The expertise that just came with that? You heard that, right?
She did put that nail in her own
Experience. She did it to herself. So you guys heard that, right?
I agree. She needs
That was self-incrimination.
I believe so.
Direction to
to
Ashura.
work. Roll those sleeves.
I I am District 5 Commissioner. I am over here in the
Hey, we can actually vote on
doing
this
my
and make you do
events,
it.
happily doing my
Not tonight, you're at
events.
a workshop.
We're at a workshop, but what's your opinion on this? What do you guys think?
Wait, don't I have the
I'm not
option
gonna
of-
force her, but
No.
You get to
believe
define
we
the
have
scope of your
professionals.
position.
I think if the two attorneys down there can't do it,
I think we should save
you ain't
money,
doing it.
hire someone else, and well, you are expert, so you should take this.
I like the fact that I have the option of saying no to you guys on this one, but you guys really do need a full-time person here in-house doing contract management.
But keep
talked
in
about
mind,
that before.
contract
Agreed to
contract
it.
management and the city attorney's office are very different roles. Somebody who's managing, you speak about tipping fees and waste contracts.
Someone
Our
who's
office-
holding the contracts
Right,
accountable.
Our office doesn't track when contracts expire, when renewals are coming up.
And that's the problem we've had for
Yeah,
years.
and having a contract administrator is a very common position in local government.
there you go, David.
I,
What do you think?
here's my view. I am knee deep in contract evaluations. I know contracts, and it's part of one of the things I'm bringing to the table. In fact, in my contract reviews, I send emails to this commission on a regular basis what I'm finding in the contracts. So I'm not in favor of the idea of hiring a full-time contract administrator. I would, however, welcome the input of expertise of former Mayor Mohammed. In fact, when I first encountered the fire contract, some of the best intuition with reference to elements of that contract not only came from her understanding of contract law, but from her own experience and historical knowledge. So I would welcome having a partner in crime in my work as it relates to the fire contract.
And as I said in my email, you have the knowledge of the majority of these contracts. If you don't have a copy of them somewhere stashed away, I know you do. You got a storage unit probably
I
like
don't think
the size of town hall.
I don't think your obligations have to be limited to the fire department.
But contracts
I
in
think
general.
all
But
contracts.
let's start there, because that's,
There's no charter position for that.
Yes, there is
Doesn't
now.
need to be a charter position. It's a recommendation from the
Charter
commission.
that says that.
We can make it. We can create it.
That won't be until November 2026.
I'll call you in the morning.
Yes, we'll figure it out.
Aw, we have an option though.
I'm getting stuck doing more work.
Commission's okay with direction for,
Yes.
No,
I
the
think we
Mohammed?
should definitely
vote
look
on
into
it.
it.
in
You
that-
need
it's
a
not a
maybe
voting
a
meeting.
part-time
I have
assistant.
3 weeks to get y'all out of this.
David, do you need a part-time assistant with all these contracts?
I do not. But as you know, I throw a lot at you regardless
I
of the
know you've been
contract.
very busy with
the
that.
thing about these contracts is we have no master list per se. I don't know what one exists anymore. There was one at
Oh,
one
well,
point.
did one, and Agatha had one.
Yeah, Agatha had one, I remember.
Find it.
Right.
Do you have a copy of it? Because I know the towing company, we've been kicking that one back and forth for how many years?
A lot.
We've been kicking the bus shelter contract back and
A
forth
lot.
for years.
December.
Waste management.
Waste management has a renewal, so we're good for 5 more years, but they're currently in negotiations with that one to add the recycling to it.
So the
We
first
have
order
the
of events should
contracts
be
for
get
the
a
lighting
list of
for
all of them.
FPL.
There
Yeah,
is
but
a
who has
list that
it?
was put together. We don't. I remember Well put one together, but then Agatha had something that she had, and
Agatha had a book with all the contracts in it. I could tell you, I haven't seen a
that
lot
book
of,
forever.
but I haven't even seen half the contracts. The only contracts that I've seen were the police and fire contracts and waste management. I haven't seen any of the other contracts, and that's that's years of not seeing these contracts.
Did you guys just see the
Asking for it.
expertise that she
I know.
she put up here and her knowledge of these contracts?
Start with the
There's
fire
also
contract, Mayor.
regarding solid waste, there's a lot of things in the pipeline right now through Broward County, so we need to wait
can be
until
mad at us,
September
but-
when that report comes out.
That's why God made
There's a
coffee.
lot of contracts involved in that.
But sure, I think this is your forte, your area where you excel.
And that way you don't get in trouble with other
and
things.
giving out book bags,
No, it's not. It's contracts.
creating health fairs, and
Keep
buying
people
toys
busy.
for kids. That's my expertise.
Contracts.
Motion to close debate, Mr. Chair.
Yeah. All right.
Move on.
Yeah, we can't force you.
Thank you.
We would like you to do so, though. we encourage you to be involved.
I'm
Dave
involved
says he'll
with
get you
events.
involved.
I'm involved with events. I like
I didn't say events, contracts. All right.
events.
Discussion possible action regarding mobile homes and sewer septic systems. This has been an ongoing issue for the town for many, many, many years, where it started back in, I believe it was 97 or 98, when one mobile home park owner who was a commissioner deeded his utilities over to the town. And so we are now in a spot where the town is responsible for the sewer and septic systems in the privately owned mobile home communities of the town.
We also partly, I've got to help you here, we're partly responsible into the apartment buildings, into their cleaning ports. We're also responsible in there. So it's common in the whole town.
There's a certain point that they're there, but like your park, town's responsible for.
Yeah, to the
Your
cleaning
part?
ports.
Clean out.
The cleaning
It's
ports.
to the clean out, but it's to everybody. Everybody's clean out. From the clean out on, we're responsible.
But the only thing, we need to make sure that our fees are up to date. on
Guys,
this.
there's actually deeds that are written where they sold their utilities to the town.
Yeah, but they still pay fees for the services.
I'm not 100% that they do. They do not.
We need to look into that.
This has been a problem that we were addressing back in 2022, 21, 22
When I
is when
first
we started
started here,
this.
they were doing it.
So, yeah, we started discussing this when Ashura was mayor. And then when I took over as mayor, we were dealing with this. And it was our town engineer who found the deeds, because we couldn't figure out why this whole thing was going about. He came across and found the deeds. And then we had a town planner, I don't remember his name, but he used to Uber everywhere, Jeffrey. He was the one who ended up digging up other things and found the rest of them. And I don't remember, but we do have the documentation here in the town. And that's something that we gotta come to a solution on. The previous town attorney was actually working on it for a short time before she threw in the towel on that project. So,
Let's work with the manager and professional staff a little bit, see what we can.
yeah, if you guys can kind of figure something out and bring forward something to
Give us
the
a little-
commission.
Give us a little time to learn a little more. educate
Yeah,
ourselves.
I'll keep on Dave on it. So.
Thank you.
But one thing you need to be aware of is that if we make a fee schedule, that's a pass-through cost that will be put on the rent.
It's gonna go on the
Whether it's a mobile
homeowners.
home park
Yeah.
or it's a apartment building complex, whatever we charge for the services will be added to the rent. And that might not be
Well,
a good
I
time.
actually just had this discussion with town manager here over not just my park, other parks as well. There were leases that were put in place for where the communities agreed to doing, we cover this, 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 and this. On my latest bill, I found that I'm now paying for my water, which was included. I'm now paying for community water. I'm now paying for all this other stuff. And then every September, I'm sure you guys get the same notice. We're anticipating the taxes to go up by this much. So therefore, we're going to increase the rent by this month. My lot rent has gone from a very small amount to now a very large amount in a very short amount of time. It's more than doubled and since
Yeah,
I've been
6
here.
years.
Yeah,
Mine
it's-
has too.
And it's getting to the point where I don't want to call it affordable housing. I'm calling it affordable living now. Affordable living is getting near impossible, and this is the cheapest form of living you can get. So
There is a lot of things going on in this. I'm still involved with the FMO and what's happening. There's a couple of lawsuits going on right now because Chapter 723 requires the park owners to justify their rent increases. But now they're using the excuse that they're using the market rate. They say, oh, if, say, the neighboring park raises their rent, they say, oh, so can I. And that's not justification. And there's some lawsuits going on. When they have been resolved in court, I'll keep you in the loop on this. But it's
Just-
very, it's
It used to
no,
be 10% a year, right? That's
no,
the-
no, no. They can only
They have a
raise
limit or something
No,
on it?
there's the what's called the pass-throughs expenses. So if the rent, if the taxes go up, that's a pass-through. But they have to account every year. They have to account for it and inform the homeowners, and they're not doing it.
I didn't see a letter last September, but it's usually every September I get a letter, I get a notice, they're saying, oh, we anticipate the taxes are gonna go up this much, so we're gonna raise your rent, another $120 this year. The thing is, Pembroke Park has not raised their taxes. We
No,
have
but
not
the
raised their
evaluation has
taxes
gone up.
since, since
the,
2015.
taxes.
I got a $25 ad valorem tax increase just like 2 months ago.
Yeah, and it's the
But
whole.
see, this is the thing. These communities are putting weird fees and stuff out, and they're changing the agreements that were made. And I understand this comes under contract law, but this is our residents. It's not just me. It's not just these guys. It's everyone here that's dealing with this.
And there's nobody to represent you.
No,
No, and the problem is those organizations that are fighting the good fight and have lobbyists and all that, they have very little attention up in Tallahassee. Tallahassee really don't care anymore. They
No.
want to see the whole thing redeveloped.
they want to see them gone. Condos.
They don't care.
And what happened? And my biggest problem with the redevelopment, because I'm not against modernizing our town and redevelop it, I'm against that we have victims when the rezoning happens, that people are evicted and they get close to zero compensation. So people are losing their investments. And I cannot see how that would fly in a country of law and order. So I would love to see some better oversight on this, but it does not exist, and there's no interest in Tallahassee.
Yeah, you see, when they start doing that development too, you see these $100,000 mobile homes
Being bulldozed.
being bulldozed over, or somebody getting $10,000 for it and told you got 30 days to get out. It's a terrible
Trinity is a
situation.
prime example of where we ended up. They were getting $3,000, and even though they spent $30,000 on their place, or 40, or even 100, whatever.
A guy who bought a house literally a few weeks before the eviction and was approved by the park, and he paid $50,000 for the mobile home.
And he had a loan on
He
it.
evicted 2 weeks later,
He
and
came
that's
here.
fraud.
He came here asking for help.
Yeah,
That's fraud.
we met with him many times, and he had a loan out on the property, and it's sitting. I don't know if his has been removed yet or not, because that was one back to Coca-Cola there. I remember which
No, all the homes are
specifically. Are they all down?
Yeah, I was in there with Aleem, and they were in the process of getting rid of everything.
So the residents here, just after the moratorium was lifted after COVID, they gave everyone in the park 30-day eviction notices, and we had nearly 300 senior citizens that were becoming homeless overnight. Here's the issue. We're government. We can't interfere in between a commercial business and their customer, and that's what they were. The only thing we could do was provide resources to help them out to find places to live. But let's be real, Section 8, they're waitlisted 3-4 years to get on Section 8. It's if you could even get on it. There's no. We went with. I got Marie Woodson involved. I got Jason Pizzo involved. I got everyone I could call involved. We put up a resource center. We tried everything to help these people out, to find places to go. The problem is some of these homes were so old they couldn't be moved. Some of these homes, they had to have, they're required to have a wind rating placard built onto the home. So usually they're around the electrical box. If they don't have it, you can't move it, So there was, this turned into a complete disaster. This was now 3 years ago, and we have a vacant lot now.
Yep.
3 years with no residents.
No, and because we need to rezone the area, but the way that the eviction was done doesn't really encourage this commission to rezone it for other purposes, and there are also traffic issues and so forth. What also happened in this case with Trinity was that they reported to the DPPR that it was an RV park. And to try and circumvent the rule that you have to give people 6 months eviction notice. So the DPPR sent an agent down from Tallahassee, and with his own eyes realized that it was incorrectly reported to them, and dictated that they all got 6 months notice. But then a lot of dirty things happened. I'm not going to get into that because I can get sued. But
there was a lot that happened.
It was nasty, and it was very inappropriate for a Christian organization to do such a thing to people.
And that lies the problem. There we go. We have a a nonprofit Christian organization that just evicted an entire community for profit. Then when they first came to me, they asked what we needed. I said, we need affordable housing. And they were going to put in 800 units. And then I don't know what happened. They were like, oh, the county says you guys need warehouses. Like, we don't need any warehouses in the town. We're maxed out. We need affordable housing. We need affordable living because it's becoming unaffordable in South Florida to live anymore. So they came back and said, okay, you know, we'll do 800. And then they came back with warehouses and 200. And I'm like, wait a second, what happened? And then it was I was kept out of it after that, but I don't know what happened. The whole thing just went under, and they were trying to fill in not just the finger of the lake, they were trying to fill in the back of the lake. They were trying to do all kinds of things, and agreements were made that weren't made from the dais from the commission up here, but there was a handful of staff here that made decisions without the commission knowing. So there was a lot that went bad, but here's the reality of the whole thing. We now have an entire community that's now vacant, and it's what's the word, Blythe? Yeah.
Blight.
Yeah, I mean, there's a wall around the property. You can't really see in it much, but you still can. It's still there. You know, it's still there. So, and that was a beautiful community before it went down. I mean, it was really nice that
was
people
the
were
nicest
great.
park.
It was one of the nicest
church
parks in the
there.
community. So, but-
Mr. Chairman, that property's on our radar. Within 6 months, we'll be making some kind of presentation to this body because the underutilization, the mayor's right. You drive by it and you scratch your head and you ask, what in the name of Hades happened? It looks like Dresden.
3 years it's been like that.
And they came here and presented a town hall solution they wanted to have, townhouses?
Yeah.
And they were telling us that they would not cause any drainage problems, even though they fill half the lake up. And they would say, oh, they were going to put a berm so their water didn't run into the lake and cause more problems. And I'm like, yeah, I don't believe a little berm can hold the water out or hold the water back.
There was shenanigans afoot with the whole thing.
It was so
I'm glad the
horrible.
whole project stopped, so
It's
now
coming.
we can reset. So, wanted to bring that out. We need to kind of dig down and figure a solution.
Learn a little
to that.
more.
So, lastly, and then we are done. I got 3 minutes, so I'll do this real quick. Discussion and possible action regarding fire hydrants in the mobile home parks. We got to come up with a solution. I know Chief Kane just walked out, but we have no mobile home
Yeah, he
fire
made a
hydrants.
presentation to this body about
I would like
4
to
months ago.
bring some information in here. On John P. Lyons Road, there's a whole row
You
of
got 2
fire
minutes.
hydrants. And they are accessible by gates in that where the fire department have keys to the padlocks. So they can bring water in from there and use the hydrants there. But I think we need hydrants in the middle of the park or suction places from the lakes where they can easily.
The problem is Park Lake, Lone Pine, Holiday Park, La Siesta, all these other parks have no fire. The fire hydrants are out on the front. The last time a fire happened on a mobile home, that thing turned red as a cherry. And Chief Kane was there. I was there. I was sitting on my front porch having a commission meeting because we had to do it via Zoom when that thing caught fire. They were running hoses. They had, I think, 8 trucks and were running hoses forever to try to get water into the park. It's something we got to look into for safety for our residents.
Absolutely.
So if
Yeah, the chief and I have talked about this. We present a plan for hydrant installation. It may involve an assessment program because we're actually putting the hydrants on land that's not owned by the town, but we have the legal authority to do that. So
if we can come up with a solution and bring it to the commission in a
Yeah.
timely manner, I'd appreciate
Our
that.
park, there's only one place where they can connect to the lake. There's a like, it's not a real fire hydrant, but it has a pipe going to the lake.
Yeah.
But I can't see, nobody's maintaining it, nobody's
Yeah.
keeping, it might be full of coconuts and dead raccoons and whatever. Yeah.
All right, that's all I have on this. We got 1 minute. Town attorney comments,
Nothing, Mayor, thank you.
town manager comments,
no comments.
commissioner comments, Commissioner Mohammed. Commissioner Morset,
Nope.
Commissioner Hodgkins, Commissioner Kishim, or Vice Mayor Kishim.
Yes.
You got 30 seconds.
I'm glad and honored to say that Pembroke Park Town
You missed us.
has a sister city with Dinajpur, Bangladesh. The agreement was signed July 30. So I'm waiting for some of the video clips and the documents. I have the proclamation signed. Hopefully the next commission meeting I will present it. So right now we can say that yes, we do have a sister city. And I also like to thank all of our school commissioners who helped me for this supporting. Thanks.
All right. I got to talk. It's my chance. Give me a second. All right. Meeting went well. This is our first workshop back. Next commission meeting will be under an hour. We're here to vote, get things done, get out of here. I'll see you guys in Orlando. Are you guys going? No?
Just
Okay.
excuse
All right.
me, Mr.
Well,
Mayor. Quick, just a reminder, the regular commission.
yeah, when's the date?
Change
21.
from the 13th through the 21st, but then we have a workshop the week after, so.
All right, so special magistrate hearing, August 21st at 9 a.m. Regular commission meeting, August 21st at 7 p.m. Workshop commission meeting, August 27th at 6 p.m. Adjournment, motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion. Second. Aye.